What's happening, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate. I am your host, El Capitan, Chris. Guys, we are going to be doing some Dolphins talk, some coaching hire speculations, some nonsense, whatever, a little bit of talk about Tua. I guess there's certainty with Tua being the quarterback these days, which, hey, like I said, and I've been saying, if this is going to be our guy, they got to do it right. So, but guys, make sure to catch tomorrow. Mike on the mic. He's got open mic after TMI Tuesdays, and he's got drop the mic on Saturdays at 10. But also before open mic, we have TMI Tuesdays at 9, Tonk 7. Game show. Mike should be on there with him. We're going to start putting the other guys in rotation here soon to do the shows. Also, guys, on Thursdays, cash and tickets with Brandon the Bookie, Big Kev, and Oz, 10 p.m. Come check out cash and tickets. And, don't forget that always Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, I'll be here doing the Fins Tailgate show. And then Wednesdays, you guys can catch me at Miami Sports Music Podcast Network doing the Fins Tailgate show. And then also on Fridays, we have the betting show over there covering the spread with Miami Sports Podcast Network. But you guys can also find all the good shows, the Fins Tailgate. If you guys want to help support the channel, hit us up in the Cash App, in the Venmo. Be much obliged. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Like the video, guys. It helps us out so much if you like the video. It's pretty much the only way possible that we can, get the algorithm going, the subscribers, to grow the channel, to get more people a part of it, everything like that. So, what's up, Alexander? See you in there. How's it going, my man? So I got Color hanging in the back. Bringing him in here too to do a little chatting. Big John Stud's supposed to be stopping by a little bit later on. Hopefully he can make it. I sent him a text. He didn't get back to me, but I sent him the link. He said he was going to jump on, but, if he can't, I'm not going to be mad at the brother. He's got busy. What can I say? Oh, what's up, Logical Guy? How's it going, brother? Yeah, guys, we're going to be doing What's Up, Alexander? I'm going to be dropping the link here in just a second. I'll be bringing color on in just a second. But, yeah, guys, I've been speculating on coaches, been speculating on what we can do. And, I'm kind of thinking, what's happening, Colin? Colors in here, as you guys can see. Yeah, what's up with that hat, boy? You like that, huh? Just got this today. So, there's been a lot of speculation on the coaches and stuff like that. It's happening, Sean. I think I've been kind of thinking about this for a little while now. So when we hired Brian Flores, the team that was brought in the beginning, it was Chris Greer. Chris Greer cleaned house. He took over the situation. He fired tons of people in the back office. He really got rid of a lot of people. And after he got rid of all these people, he started bringing in guys like Reggie McKenzie, Marvin Allen, or not Marvin Allen. And Jim Caldwell was one of the guys that he made a part of his brain trust that was going to be taking on the team. Shortly after Brian Flores was hired, and as the wheels started getting in motion, Jim, had health complications. He went ahead and had to, take care of family stuff. I don't know if this was his wife, because I know his wife had problems at that time. They were very private about it, and rightfully so. It is his personal business when it comes to his health. But later that year or next year, and since then, we've heard his name in circles being talked about wanting to be a head coach again. So the more I ponder on this, the more I think about, there was a report earlier in the week that Caldwell had turned down jobs in the NFL as head coaching candidates. And then it was the Bears, it was Minnesota, and there was other teams. But he released a statement later saying that, I didn't turn down the Minnesota job or the Bears job. And it was a little bit of damage control, if you ask me. It seemed to me that maybe he did. Maybe it was something. Maybe they reached out and he said, no, thank you. Which, if he's saying no thank you to a head coaching job when he's obviously been wanting one, as far as reports go back all the way to 2019, later in the year after his complications and health complications had. What's up, Fins Up? What's going on, brother? So, yeah, Color, why don't you put your Twitter in the comments, man? A couple guys are asking about it. So, anyhow, he wants to get a job as head coaching. He says that he didn't turn down these jobs, which obviously, if he's putting out something saying I didn't say no to these jobs, they obviously reached out to him in some way. So whether he said no in the way the reports came out, I think it was more along the lines that he didn't say I'm not interested, but maybe he said I have something else in the works. Maybe he was being respectful. So I really think that there is a strong possibility that Jim Caldwell comes to the Dolphins organization in more of a capacity. It's more of the capacity that he was in a more coaching capacity. So I pondered this, and I had this discussion today with Big John Stud. I wonder if he's looking at coming in to be the head coach. And if he is, that would be amazing, especially if we can work out getting Mike McDaniel. And I like Mike McDaniel. A lot of people love him as a head coach idea. I think that's a big stretch. He's a young guy. He's only 33 years old. He's only been in the NFL working for like 6 or 7 years or something like that. It's not a long tenure. And I get it. He's worked with, Shanahan and things like that. But young coaches, the hardest part for them is hiring a staff. And when you say guys are connected to these trees, that means they got to lop off some of those limbs of that tree to build their staff. A lot of these guys already have jobs. And as we just seen with Brian Flores, people weren't willing to jump ship from Bill Belichick, and even other guys in correlation weren't willing to go in a division to go against Bill Belichick. I think that's where Flores was hurt in a lot of ways in how he hired, outside of probably his controllingness, which we're finding out more and more about. So anyhow, I think that there's something to be said here that, if McDaniel's got the head coaching job, it would be difficult for him to fill out the coaching staff. And I hear a lot of people go, well, we can keep the coaching staff we got. And I like Studsville. I think Studsville's good. I like, Gotze in some ways. But and I would like to keep one, if not both of these guys around, maybe back in a role that they were in. I mean, they were both assistant offensive coordinators and position coaches. So at least keep them around on the team. But especially to keep continuity with Tua, it looks like we're going to keep him. Let's keep him. Let's do it right. Let's not change and give him a bunch of different offensive coordinators around here. So really this dream scenario that me and Big John Stud kind of talked about earlier today, and something I put together, that it would be an amazing thing if Caldwell is doing damage control, saying he didn't take these, reject these coaching hires and stuff like that, but more along the lines as if he, told them that there's something else happening. And there's a little bit more context there that we're not aware of. So let's dream and go, let's get Caldwell. He's had his health complications. It's been some time since he's coached. I believe he's going to be able to put together a great staff. But let's get McDaniel as our OC assistant head coach. Put him in line to take over next as the head coach. Give Caldwell, I don't know what, a 3-year, 4-year deal, maybe 5, whatever works to make this work. And what McDaniel is willing to, think that is a decent amount of time for him to then take over as a head coach. And let's build this thing with the system where the next guy that comes as head coach, being an elder guy, elder statesman, has his successor set in line. I would love this, guys. I don't know, man. It would be a great, great thing where, we have that kind of thought process. And I think Chris Greer is the right kind of guy to put this type of stuff together. So with that, there's been talk on Twitter. There's been speculation, Jarvis Landry, can he come back to the Dolphins, stuff like that. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not really into the idea of bringing, Jarvis Landry in. So that's not really, I don't like to go backwards. Jarvis Landry has I don't want to call him a diva because that's not necessarily what he is, but he definitely, if he comes in on his third contract type of ordeal, and sets a bad example for all this young talent we've got in the building, we don't need that. I like what we're doing. I like that we're young. I like guys like Mac Hollins being the type of leader that these guys can look to and grow into and be more like a team player. Not that Jarvis isn't that way, at least when he was in Miami, but things kind of change, and it's just, I don't want him coming here and grabbing the bag and, and stuff like that. And I don't think that that's the way he is in a competitor, but it just feels like a step backwards, in some ways. But there is another Landry that I am interested in. So Ogba contract. The Dolphins haven't extended him. I would have thought by now they would have extended him. Well, the money it's going to probably cost us to get Ogba, even if it's a 2 or 3 year contract, could be around $17 million a year. That's what pass rushers go for. Why don't we go and get one of these big time pass rushers? And when I go back to roundabout way, I'm talking about Landry. I'm talking about Harold Landry from the Tennessee Titans. he put up some good numbers last year. I think he had 12 sacks last year, which it was a contract year, and he was underwhelming in his first few years. But last year, he did pretty good, and he's coming up on a contract. I don't think the Titans are going to be able to sign him without making sacrifices in ways that probably is going to hurt them financially. This is a guy who's going to come on the market, and if we can offer him a good contract, he would be a great weapon. He's a linebacker. He can blitz. He can do stuff. He's a big dude. That can be our fixed problem at middle linebacker. And that's just me solving one of these really good problems right here. So I think that's the way to go. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a little something I had made for color. I'm going to bring a little color commentary right now. Let's bring in color commentary. Yeah, here we go. Color commentary coming in here on the Fins tailgate.
What do you say there, Chris? What do you say there?
What's going on, brother? So,
I'm flattered, man. I'm flattered. That's all.
Oh, man. I'm happy to make it for you. I've been working on it for a little while now. When I told you I was starting to work on something, that was about a week or so ago. So what do you think about Harold Landry, man? You think Harold Landry is a good pickup? Have him play middle linebacker for us. You know, we do a lot of moving around with our linebackers. What do you think?
Yeah, we do definitely need linebacker help. I mean, we've got a couple guys with good motors, but we just don't have that really intelligent linebacker that is just all over the place and on every play. You know, we need that guy like Offerdahl or Zach Thomas that it just doesn't matter what's going on. He's at the ball, you know, every single play.
The only thing I worry about with Harold Landry is that it was a contract year. It is a coming out kind of year. Is it him being extra, doing extra because he's trying to get the bag? He knows that contract's coming, and we've fallen for this trick before with free agents. Or is it how it appeared to me that the light came on for him? He looked like I went and watched a little bit of I found this article on Bleacher Report. And when I went and looked just real quick. Logical guys in here, if he can come on here and tell me a little bit, and I'm going to drop the link here in just a second, guys, so everybody can get in as you know we do on the Fins tailgate. But if Logical guy could come in here and tell me what he thinks about Harold Landry.
And the most recent example we have is Khalil Mack. I mean, that kind of concerns me a little. I see what you're getting at, because I mean, yeah, he's a stud in Chicago, but is he really what they expected him to be?
I mean, he was there in the beginning, bro.
Well, right, but I mean, Gruden took a lot of heat for getting rid of Mack. You know what I mean? And I don't think it was the wrong decision for the Raiders.
You know, I don't know, bro. If he would have kept, well, it wasn't because of the haul and the finances it cleared up, but at the same time, those first 3 years, because I think this is his fourth year there, right? No, this is his third year. This is his third year. So those first 2 years were spectacular. He carried that whole friggin' team to damn near every win. Dude, he had like 5 or 6 sacks in a game, like two times in 1 year.
Right.
So I mean, he did great. He had multiple.
So it may just be a matter of them getting all their pieces back together to where he can really shine. You know,
I mean, listen, if Khalil Mack was ever going to have a down year, this was the year to have it. They lost their coach. They lost everything.
You know what he needs? He needs Brian Flores. That's what he needs.
Yeah,
Brian. I was on the Bears channel a couple days ago, one of the Bears streams, and I was in there talking up Brian Flores, like telling him, look, for whatever faults he might have, and for whatever you've heard, one thing's for certain: if you want the '85 Bears back, hire Brian Flores. You know what I mean? Like, he will and see a lot. That's where a lot of people in their assessment of Brian Flores, again, they forget that it's. I'll even use the same analogy again with the curveball pitchers in Arizona or Colorado. Brian Flores is the type of guy. I mean, Chicago, they wouldn't give a damn if they ever scored more than 3 points a game, as long as their defense is like the '85 defense. Well, that fan base will be happy as shit. You know what I mean? So
you've seen how they've struggled in ways. They've tried to, Cutler was like the strongest or armed quarterback they've ever had in that building. And you need, like, say what you will about Jay Cutler. when he was younger and he went to that team, that arm had juice on it, and that's why they had success. But that Windy City's for real, dude. Like,
it's
every
really a
kicker,
matter of, it's really right, and that's where 8 games of theirs are played every year.
that's what I'm saying. And then they've got the 9th in a dome every year, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And then Green Bay in December isn't about throwing. You know what I'm saying? So potentially 10 of their games every year.
And that's why they used to succeed. That's why they would go all the way with just a defense and a mediocre offense. You know what I mean?
Right.
But because that 85 Bears defense was, it was tailor-made for the city. And that's what I mean, that you talk about a guy like Brian Flores in Chicago, he could be there forever. He could be there for 30 years.
Yeah, because and that might be the perfect marriage for them in defense in that. So moving
they
off,
would love him to death. They'd be like, our 85 Bears are back. You know what
and they've got a strong arm young quarterback right now too.
Mm-hmm.
But moving off the Bears, guys, I caught a little bit of TD's stream here, and before I got on, TD, what's happening, brother? He said something that it didn't really come as a shock to me, but I had to look and see. The Dolphins haven't had a Pro Bowl quarterback in forever. I forget what he said exactly, what the number was, but like the last Pro Bowl quarterback they had was Dan. Like, didn't Jay get a Pro Bowl quarterback at least once? Nobody got a Pro Bowl.
No, because after Dan, there was you had the Tom Brady era started.
Yeah.
And then you also had guys like let's see, coming out heavy that time. You had guys like Steve McNair.
Mm-hmm.
You had guys like AFC guys from that period of time.
I know.
I'm trying to think of them.
They had talent all over the place, and it kind of makes, when you look at the arm talent,
Ben Roethlisberger.
That's another one. Yeah. That kind of arm talent is even more rare than what the system that they're trying to put in right now for Tua. So the more I ponder on Tua, and like I said, guys, I was a big time Tua supporter early when he came to the team. After the way it just kind of fizzled out towards the end of the year. And I get it in a lot of ways. Not working with great weapons, not last year or this year. And shout out to friggin' Lynn Bowden Jr. What a weapon we lost. You know what I'm saying? Lynn Bowden Jr., I was watching some Tua highlights yesterday, and there was a lot of Lynn Bowden Jr. in the first half of that video. And I'm like, damn, dude, we need to get this guy back, and he'll be back next year. But and the offensive line took a mega step back this year. That's something I don't think anyone really anticipated, was the step back the offensive line took. But without these weapons and without that being taken into consideration, it looks like Tua's arm didn't have that to it. And I have to kind of think to myself, that has to be the ribs, right? That's got to be his ribs that held him back, like physically. What do you think, Color?
Yeah, well, that I think I'm almost thinking the rib injury is probably worse than his hip injury.
Well, if I recall correctly, it was on his hip injury side.
Well,
the ribs that he injured.
I saw they might have mentioned this on a previous night, but I saw this one of these YouTube doctors analyzing it, and he was saying that like the way on that particular rib cage, right up underneath in the where your rib starts, the first thing it's protected is the spleen. And so he was showing how close he could have came to busting his spleen, which didn't happen, but that's like not just career ending, but life at risk, that's life threatening is what the word I'm looking for,
Gotcha, brother.
And that's actually what happened to Chris Sims and retired him. he got hit and busted his spleen and almost
Damn, did
died.
Chris
Yeah.
Sims hate on Tua so much that he
you know,
tried to
that's why I've
freaking
never
spleen him?
see that's why I've never jumped on the pile on Chris Sims, because I know where it's probably coming from. He's jealous
I
as all hell.
I mean, damn though, bro. Did he
The
like
guy's
put
had a
the
hip injury,
but
almost
he's
busted his spleen, and you know,
I mean, damn, dude. It's Chris Sims put the juju on him so bad he almost got him injured the same way he got injured. So, well,
oh, I wanted to say something real quick. I don't know if you're gonna end up getting Big John to show up, but man, you have to be in awe over this guy's insightfulness, man.
I know Big John
Like,
Stud's right on the money with a lot of this stuff.
What
It's
was
crazy.
the first thing he said last night when you started asking about Aaron Rodgers?
I can't remember, man.
He was like sure about it. He went right to
no,
Denver.
he
went right to Denver. He's like, I tell you, man, you know, it's already in the bag. He's going to Denver.
Denver's been the speculation for a while, and believe me, Denver's going to make that reach, and that is right in line with the way Denver goes at it too. Because they bring in quarterbacks. They did it with. I mean, first of all, that was John Elway, second resurgence in his career. Then they brought in Manning. They bring in Rodgers, and I kind of dig how they do it. If you think about it, they go, you know what? We're just gonna do elder states. We're gonna build a perfect team for a big arm type quarterback to just chuck the ball and have a badass run game and a star tight
retire
end.
in Denver.
And
we'd rather have everybody's retiree than a mediocre quarterback or just an above average quarterback.
It's the most unique system I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? And it works.
Well, they figure that a veteran, even if he's slacked off to the point where he's just above average, if they're going to build that type of team for a mediocre quarterback anyway, you might as well just keep cycling in dudes like that, because you still have an ultimately better chance of winning given the intangible of being a veteran.
Well, you got to look at their division, though, too.
I mean,
man.
Manning could barely throw by the time he was winning a Super Bowl with them.
I know, right?
But it didn't matter because he had such a mastery of the game that it was like he's joysticking it out there. He's got a Madden control.
But he always still had the ability to heave it. You know what I'm saying? He could heave it on a rainbow 65 yards and hit somebody on the money because of that mastery. But
I was watching a film on the 1990 Dolphins season, and it just dawned on me that, you know, Dan Marino broke a certain record that year. It was a 7th straight 300 or a yard passing game in a season, or like 7th straight, like 7 in a row. And I'm thinking, 300 yards, huh? You know, like, that was amazing back then to have 7 300+ yard passing games in a row. Now it's like we get upset when our guy doesn't throw for 400 yards, you know?
I know, right? It's such a different.
Crazy.
Well, I mean, the pass game is the run game, you know. We're not running it 35 times.
But even back then, a 100-yard rusher was a bell cow. It was like, oh, this dude gets 100 yards rushing a game.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And but it'd only be like 105, 110. But if they did that consistently, they're getting over 1,000 yards, and that was the thing. Now you got running backs that they're touching 2,000 yards without any receptions.
I know, right? It's crazy. Geez. Well, it's become a specialist type of NFL too, and cream rises to the top because, I mean, dude, think about just the position of the tight end, bro. Tight ends were not used the way they're used now. Now a guy like Mike Gesicki is a tight end because it's a mismatch. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at it too, safeties are so different. You know what I'm saying? Safeties are different. It used to be safeties looked like this way, and then now you need one small safety to play up and down inside the box. You need one bigger safety to lay the boom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you need a corner that, I mean, listen, you need a lockdown corner these days, bro. They're throwing the ball so much. You ain't got a lockdown corner. You're in deep shit. So,
and you really have to have that hybrid strong safety / linebacker that can really cycle in anywhere around the field. You know,
it really, well, that's
your Troy Polamalu.
That's what we know we need now.
You know,
I mean, we haven't had something. I mean, listen, Rashad Jones was pretty good because he would go off script and get somebody every now and again. but when he would lay the wood, bro, he would put the boom on somebody, man. So he was worth his weight for that. That's why he stayed with the Dolphins for so long, man. He made a lot of money on Miami too, boy. He made a lot. He was entertaining. That pass rush was getting there, and he could get home and knock somebody's teeth out, bro. It was so fun. But yeah, I think about Rodgers, and you know, if Rodgers goes, does Nathaniel Hackett go with him? Do you think
Well,
that happens?
I couldn't imagine that that's not the package deal we would have had in the works to begin with, like Mike kept on saying, you know.
Well, I'm talking about to Denver.
Oh, I'd imagine so. I mean, they need a head coach, don't they?
Yes, that's my point. Like, I think didn't their head coach lose their job?
Yeah, Vic Fangio.
Yeah, Vic Fangio lost his job.
Yeah, and also, you know, it's funny because we're about the same pecking order. Like, the favorite right now is Denver at plus 300.
Well, they geared up for it too. They let Von Miller go, got the draft pick.
Right.
They're ready for it.
And they've got a couple wide receivers, and Tim Patrick is ridiculously fast.
He is freaking good too, man.
And so, you know, like so Denver's plus 300 as the favorite. Pittsburgh is plus 400 as the second favorite.
How is Pittsburgh going to make that happen?
And then Miami comes in at plus 500. But if you look at, like, if you read the article that's been shared about Davante Adams, if you look in that article, they kind of insinuate that Miami's about third in the pecking order too. So it's kind of funny. It really is going to boil down to what Aaron Rodgers wants to do. I think Nathaniel Hackett and Davante Adams follow. Because all three situations, except for Pittsburgh, although I don't know what they're going to do with Mike Tomlin. He's going another season, right?
I don't know, man.
If he doesn't retire. So Pittsburgh doesn't need a coach.
Well, Mike Tomlin's not retiring. He's still
right.
Young
So Pittsburgh actually should be like behind us in those odds, if you ask me. Vegas has it a little wrong. But I wanted to speak something you said earlier about Mike McDaniel getting him over here as an OC or a head coach or an assistant head coach under whoever. And actually, you know, that's not a bad idea, because even though you and I know that he probably should move sideways and take more of the reins in a sideways position, we also know that none of these guys move sideways. They'll move up and then back and then sideways, but they generally don't move sideways if they're on their way up the first time. You know what I mean? So
Mike McDaniel.
Well, the thing it is, can we convince him by giving him some kind of title like assistant head coach that makes him think as a noob, let's say, or as a neophyte, that, oh, I am moving up the chain, but he's really not, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's still being groomed for taking over.
Well, here's kind of the dream scenario that I think Chris Greer and Lakers All Day is in the back. I'm going to let him in here in a second. Guys, I dropped the link in the comments. Get in on here. If you're watching on Facebook or watching on Twitter, please, guys, hop over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel. I need subscribers. It helps us grow. Make sure to hit the like button too, guys. It's how it gets the algorithm kicking. But now, I said in my opening kind of deal that, and you alluded to it, that make Mike McDaniels the assistant head coach, have him next in the pecking order. But really, my super dream scenario is you got Vance Joseph coming in here, and if you can get him to take a defensive coordinating job because he doesn't get hired as an offensive coordinator anywhere else, and you can create, and Chris Greer can maybe just wordsmith his way into this scenario. You could create an internal competition where, I don't know, man, this might not work good either too, but imagine if you have Vance Joseph and Mike McDaniels, defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator, both hoping to get the Caldwell head coaching job. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just listen to me. Just listen.
Sure.
So now they are in competition with themselves for the betterment of what they could potentially get the next head coaching job. So it would behoove him to have the best defense he can to prove that I could be here, the best offense I can to prove that I could take it over. and you create a friendly gamesmanship.
But does he have the ability to? I mean,
Who?
Vance Joseph, because one of the things that I'd remind you is that now whether we could, okay, I guess I'll say it like this: I would need Vance Joseph to explain to me why our defense collapsed the last couple games under Adam Gase. I mean, the defense doesn't have to play for Adam Gase, so if it's a case of the team quitting on him, I mean,
I think the team quit on Adam Gase. And that looked like the whole team quit. It wasn't just the defense back then. I think the team wanted Adam Gase out.
We were kind of getting gashed, you know.
I agree.
Also, does Vance Joseph have an answer for the RPO? You know what I mean?
Well, that would be the first thing you'd find out. And against an offensive mind, which, first of all, the RPO that Tua runs, but against what Mike McDaniels is going to throw at him in practice, we're creating a whole new level of competition. I agree, but Vance Joseph has grown in his years. He's gotten head coaching experience since then. He's done things. I get it. He's being looked at as head coach, and they know him in the building. And if it's a Jim Caldwell want and this kind of scenario happens, I could get real excited about the potential idea of this offense going harder against this defense in a friendly banter where it was a good thing to.
I guess my question would be, how did Denver look against Arizona this year? Did they play?
I don't know, man. I'd have to go back and look at it
or the Ravens. You know what I mean? Like, could Vance Joseph construct a defense that could do what we did against the Ravens? Because it's not just a matter of stopping the RPO. There are some quarterbacks that have the qualities needed to actually make the RPO work in the NFL. When I say the RPO is obsolete for the NFL and all that, I'm just meaning that for the purpose it was created for, to help a quarterback the way that it's supposed to. In the NFL, that doesn't really matter. The NFL defenses just blow it up. The key to defeating that is having a Nick Foles type quarterback or a Colin Kaepernick type quarterback that can heave the ball down the field and back the defense up.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, and the reason being, I've been really harsh about the RPO, but I actually watched a video today with none other than Doug Peterson explaining the base package and what its concepts are. And it makes sense to me. However, all the highlight film they're showing is Nick Foles throwing to the mid and upper level out of the RPO.
Yeah, I know.
And Peterson saying flat out, we are not meant to run the ball.
I know.
Like this, you're meant to hardly ever give the ball in the RPO.
I know.
You know what
but
I mean?
I know that's the thing. It's meant for the bait and switch. That's the deal. It's a
I
gimmicky type of ordeal.
Right. So then I followed up watching videos about how to defeat it. And there was these couple videos I watched from this college coach that was talking about how to defeat it. Now that he was calling it different, like his nicknames for his schemes were different, but what he was showing on film matched exactly what I saw Vince Beagle do against the Ravens in the all 22 when I was watching it. I'm like, this is literally how you defeat the RPO, even Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I know.
Is Vance Joseph going to construct a defense and keep the construction of a defense that has the qualities and abilities necessary to do that? Is what all my concern is, because these are the opponents we normally face. And if we're going to get to the playoffs and get deep, we are going to have to go through a team that does have a quarterback that can run the RPO to success in the NFL. Like
no
guy
doubt.
with such
it's becoming
speed like Lamar Jackson.
That's the future. I mean? That's the future. I mean, look what the college is doing.
But only if the quarterback fits the role to do it. And these coaches already know that. The biggest Achilles heel of the RPO in the NFL is if the defense is able to blow the line up. That's if they do not respect the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't respect the quarterback, they will load the box and they will they can sit there and hesitate. They can sit there and hold their gaps because they've got enough guys to fill every gap. So the run game goes nowhere, and the quarterback is left with a couple receivers and 3 free rushers right at the snap of the ball.
I know that's
literally why our offense is ranked 32nd in the league.
That's why I want to see growth from Tua in the way I'm hoping that he's going to do, man.
Sure.
And if we get look it.
I'm willing to concede that it's possible
McDaniels,
he could.
This is kind of why I'm digging McDaniels as a potential in the building. You know, I don't want him as my head coach because I'm afraid that he's not going to be able to fill out the coaching positions. And I don't know, man. He's a 33-year-old guy. Maybe he's ready. I don't know. I couldn't imagine handling that kind of pressure. But listen, he's the one designing plays. I wouldn't imagine it to be a smart decision in a lot of ways too, because I mean, we know that Shanahan's calling the offense, you know, over there, and that he's only been designing. And if I recall correctly, we're the only people that have interviewed him for a head coaching position. So I'm hoping that it's more of a, you know, assistant head coach, like we said. Listen, Color, I got Logical Guy. He hopped in the back. I want to ask you, Logical Guy, and Lakers all day. I'm going to bring you in next, and then John, I see you back there, brother. I'm going to bring you in next. But we were talking earlier, Logical Guy, about Harold Landry, bro, and he's going to be a free agent. Do you think the Titans, number one, could they afford to keep him? And two, what if the Dolphins were to buy him and fill him into our linebacker role? What could we expect from a guy like that?
Well, he brings great pressure, and he can do pass coverage too. So he's just generally a good player. And with the Titans, we're trying to keep a strong defense. So I could see us. Well, we won't. The thing is, we Julio is expensive.
Yes, and that's my point. Like, you guys are kind of strapped for cash to be affording a mega deal where a guy's going to get around $17 million a year. So I'm pretty sure without trimming some fat in ways that are going to hurt the team. And I mean, listen, you guys kind of figured out what we've known about Tannehill, that the limitations are real. And if Derrick Henry or that running game ain't clicking, it's not going to be pretty, because Tannehill, I don't know what it is, man. There's some games where it looks like he just takes it over, and then there's others where he
one
just
week it'll be no picks, the next week, or one week it'll be like 300, 400 yards, the next week it'll be 3 picks.
Exactly, and it's
so what I would say with the
but Logical Guy, real quick, and to just close the book on Tannehill, it comes to where once that running game is gashing somebody, and you guys gashed the Dolphins early on in that game, that play action, he can pull up and hit his first read or look for that deep open thing because it's designed and called. It's almost like he's waiting for it to open for that little bit to develop, and he forgets that there's a guy coming over here to knock his teeth out, and that's what happens, you know. And then he starts getting jumpy, and now he's throwing interceptions. It's and Tannehill's tougher than nails, bro. We know that. So it's just that growth hasn't happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same shit with the guy. And not that you can't win a Super Bowl with him, but it's going to take a specific type of – it's going to take Derrick Henry not injured, looking sluggish like you guys saw. So continue what you were saying, brother.
I would say it mainly needs that there is –
No.
Sorry, I muted him. Go ahead, brother. All right, I'm going to bring in Lakers all day. What's going on, brother? How you been?
What's up, man? Everything's good, man. What's up with you?
It's good. Thomas asked, he was over from the Grossi posse. He's a Grossi posse raided us, a couple days ago. I was taking a leak, and Mike on the mic was holding it down, and Grossi posse brought the raid on, and he came in. He asked a question here. Are we happy about the firing of Flores? And I'm gonna bring you on to Christopoulos.
Let me answer that right quick.
Yeah, go right ahead, brother.
So, me, I mean, I'm not happy because just how y'all said about Vince Joseph, talk about, you know what I'm saying, like y'all was talking about the Ravens defense and how we shut down Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
That's not easy to do. You know what I'm saying? A coach like Flores, right? Shutting down Lamar Jackson and that defense and the offense with Caldwell Brown and the running game with Lamar Jackson. That's not easy to do. You feel me? So for us to get a head coach like that, that's gonna be hard for them to one up Flores. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's it's like it's gonna be hard for any coach to top that. You know what I'm saying? Because like we shut down Lamar Jackson. We didn't shut down no. You know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson is like a Michael Vick, but taller, faster. You
Yeah.
know. So it's like that's gonna be hard for our defense and these coaches to one up. So I feel like we made a mistake by
Mm-hmm.
firing him. You know what I'm saying? We should have never done that. Because like like his bread and butter is defense. And plus just how you was talking about that Harold guy, that
Yeah.
linebacker from Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
he's from Boston College. You feel me? That's where he went to school at. So if you realize it, if we have Flores, come on now, Flores would have picked up. Flores low key probably would have got him, and he probably would have had a win-win.
Yeah, I hear you. Christopoulos, I'm gonna get your opinion next, but before you do, Michael says over here they got destroyed 1-7. Bills Flo was a joke, but I'm just gonna put some context, Michael. You're right. That defense cost us football games early in the year, no doubt about it. It definitely cost us, I would say, probably the Jags in the Atlanta game. But I mean, we knew there was a lot of risk taken. There was young guys on the field. It was stuff like that. But Flores definitely wasn't calling that kind of defense how we thought he was going to do. When we left the year before, we thought, hell yeah, this defense is going to come out firing on all cylinders. And in that first game, it looked pretty good. I'm like, hell yeah, we're getting more of this. And then after that, it just petered out. It just got really bland. It wasn't creative. And then before long, it seemed like they were, I don't know, confusion. It didn't make sense. And honestly, I blame that. I blame that on us losing Bobby McCain, bro. I think the loss of Bobby McCain inserting in young guys on the D line and the back end really cost us football games, because although Bobby had his physical limitations, he was the quarterback of that defense, bro. And so that's how I think we ran into troubles. I think we ran into troubles not having him on the field, man. Now, later in the year, once Javon Holland really started clicking, that's when, honestly, Javon Holland, we live and die by that sword these days, bro. That guy is so important in the back end, just playing all the different positions. And, when Jones took a next step too, bro, these two guys our safeties are fire right now. Christopoulos, what's up, brother?
First off, I love the hat. Beautiful,
thanks, brother.
beautiful
hat. Yeah, it's pretty good. Good old Miami hat. Matches the jacket too, right?
Yeah, no, it does. Definitely does. Going back to your Flores question, I'm not happy that Flores left or they fired him, but I get it. I understand why they chose to fire him. With that being said, man, I have never seen Dolphin fans this thirsty for a head coach, and basically this depleted. I mean, Sean Payton went dark apparently 24 hours ago, and now all you see on Dolphins Twitter is, "Oh my God, we should go get Sean Payton if he really wants out of New Orleans." And I'm just saying, for the front office, they have to nail this head coaching pick, not just for the team but for the fans, to heal the fans and to bring the fans together. Because if they don't nail this, the Dolphin community is going to be in shambles. Absolute
bro.
shambles.
I couldn't. That is such an amazing narrative, because, bro, I'm right. You're right on it, dude. Because it feels like there's a divide, and not so much in the locker room, because I know Omar Kelly released that story saying that, there's a player that doesn't believe in Tua, and it seemed regurgitated. So, and listen, a guy on the defense that loves Flores, I could see how he could feel that way. And that might be, but I don't think that's the narrative and the heartbeat of the team right now. I think they're all just kind of, their coach is gone, and Color, before I get to how you feel about it, I'll just give real quick how I feel. I'm indifferent with the loss of Flo, because I liked him as a coach. I liked what he did to this team in defense. I saw him take a bunch of nobodies and win 5 games, despite what the whole entire NFL was saying about us. But as the days turn into weeks and soon a month, and we'll see if he gets hired. And I said this a lot. I'm going to pay really close attention to if Flores becomes a head coach somewhere. And if he becomes a head coach, does he run into some of the same things I'm hearing out of the building these days? And that's that he was not a nice guy to work with, that he was a mean person in some ways, that it was brash. And there's rumors flying around here about, and some of the local beat reporters have kind of put their name on it, but I haven't seen a definitive Flores was a total asshole, mean in this way.
Yeah, they have him pegged as a tyrant right now, which is I don't think the case.
I can't. Nobody's put their stamp on it. Nobody's come out and said it. And now I'll tell you what, if he doesn't get a head coaching job, or if he takes like a year off, or he gets a job as a DC, I'll believe those reports all the more. You know what I'm saying? Because if this shit's coming out and it's getting to other organizations that this guy was, I mean, bro, there's talk that the guy was violent. There was threats, things like that. But what I will say is that our owner dropped him and nobody saw it coming. And that is personal written all over it. It would be different if he dropped him and Jim Harbaugh was hired right away, or somebody was hired. But the fact that there hasn't been no hire, it was an impulse want action. So that has personal written all over it. So because of that, I'm still waiting to see, but I can only speculate that this guy wasn't who he appeared to be to us as fans. And I did like the product, but I didn't like the offense. You know what I'm saying? And he did lose 7 in a row. So,
the one thing I want to say before you go, Color, really quick, is everyone forgot the Bengals game. Not everyone, but everyone forgot mostly the Bengals game last season. And I forget if it was a punt return or a kick return where basically the receiver or the return receiver basically took a shot and Flores jumped on the field like he was ready to fight the whole team. And he came in defense of his teammates, of his staff, of his teammates, and everyone was cheering Flores, and we all forgot about that. And I loved it as a Dolphin fan because we needed to see that out of a head coach for such a long time, someone that actually showed passion to the game like that. And everyone was saying, "Oh, you see what Flores did? You're going to see more people wanting to come to Miami to work for Flores, to play for Flores, because he rides and dies for his team." And those were the instances where you fell in love with Flores. So I don't know if these reports are accurate, whether he was a tyrant behind closed doors and he did treat players like crap.
Yeah.
But, what you saw on the field and the way he reacted and he wasn't the best at news conferences, I'll give you that. But at the end of the day, I just saw a guy with passion in his heart, wanting to win, and stood up for his players when he had to. And that to me is, you don't get rid of a coach like that.
Color, I'll have you go, but before Dolphin Don says here, he says, I want the Dolphins, not General Hospital. Got no time for locker room drama. And you know what, Dolphin Don, that was kind of the thing we got for a long time. It was actually, it seemed like nothing was leaking from the building. It seemed like everything was tight-lipped. And now that Flo is gone, these rumors come flying where more often than not, we didn't hear a damn thing out of here. And you never heard nothing out of the coaches either. The interviews were terrible. They were like, in routine, make the corrections. It was friggin' it. You got nothing.
It was Belichickian.
It was, but
I mean, what else is he supposed to say? You know what I mean?
Man. I don't want him to come out there. I mean, listen, I like a little personality, as you can tell. I didn't buy this hat because I like wearing goofy ass hats. I like it because it's fun. You know what I'm saying? I wore it for the show. I like a little personality. So, but if it's all tight-lipped around there and then all of a sudden it's not tight-lipped, that means there's no doubt that this shit's coming out because the Dolphins organization wants it out. And do they want it out because they're pushing a narrative, or do they want it out because that's the truth? So I'm going to wait on reservations, but son of a bitch is gone. They better get this fucking hire right because this team's on. Thomas in here. Grassy Posse Thomas says Miami going 10-7 next year. I hope that's enough to get me in the playoffs because if we don't go to the playoffs, I've been saying this all over.
And I'll use that as a segue to my exact take because
pitchforks are sharpened and torches are ready, dog.
Yep, because ultimately, I'm going to address Dolphin Don. I want the Dolphins, not General Hospital. Well, that was precisely why we brought Flores in.
Yeah,
because from what I understand, and even from seeing for myself going to games, the pregame regimen, all of it was night and day different than it was under Adam Gase and these previous coaches we've had. So if maybe it was trading one drama for another, lackadaisicalness for too much discipline. I don't know. That's possible. Ultimately, though, as far as him being a tyrant, the thing of it is, and I'll address Michael Pulsick too. I mean, this is what I think, and I think maybe Chris DeLagas might agree and come from the same position. I mean, to say, where's the comment? I'd like to quote it, but if I can't, it was something along the lines of, this defense got destroyed by Buffalo. We went 1-7.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Flo is what did he say? Flo is a joke.
Yeah.
See, I just have no patience for that kind of nonsense, man.
Nope.
I really don't. To say that kind of thing is just like so hateful and so hurtful that if you do believe that about Flores, you're right down there with him.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that. He's no longer our coach.
Yep.
Okay. Plenty in that locker room respect the hell out of him and thanked him for changing their lives.
Yeah. Facts.
Okay.
Facts.
So, let it rest already.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder.
Forget the fact 1-7. Forget the fact that, our offense refuses to pay off the defense for their 3 and outs.
Thank you.
Throughout every single one of those 7 losses. Okay.
That's true.
So you're not going to sit here and tell me that Flo being out of the building with a better defense would have gained us any more wins than our offense could have. Okay. Bottom line. And if you think that, so what I have a question for everybody in the chat and even the panel is, when we bring in another coach and our defense is getting rolled every single week, are we then saying that now the same defense, the same players that shut down Lamar Jackson are trash? Is that what we're going to be saying next year?
That better not be what we're saying.
I want this to be clipped right now. And when people are starting to say that next year, I want it to be remembered that I said this right now. Okay. That all being said, Flo is gone. He's out of the building. If we go sideways, okay, then, I mean, you don't just fire somebody like that. Okay.
That's the thing I'm looking for.
As Chris DeLagas pointed out, you don't just fire somebody like that. And as Chris pointed out, in a personal manner, because Ross has said nothing when everybody gives their ideas about why Flores got fired. We all forget to look at what the man who fired him said out of his own mouth.
That's right.
That it had nothing to do with job performance. So you can take the 1-7 and shove it right out the window. That's not why he was fired.
Now you're seeing it colored, and we watched the video too.
If you've got video of Stephen Ross, the man who fired him, saying something different, show it.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. And so it was personal all day. He almost said so much, and Steve's pretty tight-lipped. He's pretty
and
good.
one more thing.
Unless he mentioned Harbaugh, then he breaks character.
Well, to conclude my thought, rounding back to Dolphin Don, the only way to eliminate that drama is either Doug Peterson, Dan Quinn, Jim Caldwell, or Jim Harbaugh. Period.
Yeah, we need an elder
Period.
statesman.
Not Mike McDaniel, not a 35-year-old or whatever he is kid. And yes, he's a kid. Okay. Brian Dable, kid.
This is all facts, right?
You know,
It's
if
definitely
Ross
facts. That's
wanted
why
a
I bring
second-
Color on here.
if Ross
Color on
wanted
here
a
to just
second
chat it.
opinion, if Ross wanted a second opinion from another doctor for his overall body, he's not going to go to a podiatrist.
No, and
we already had a podiatrist.
Like
now
I
Ross
said,
wants a second opinion from a full doctor.
The thing is that the defense we knew was going to struggle. It was some lost pieces. It was some moving around. It was some young starters on that defense. But they did their job in some ways. Not all of those 7 losses, not all of the 8 losses, we'll say. It's no one's ever fault. But what I seen a lot in late in the season and when it mattered was an inability to make those moments happen. And Thomas is in here and here. He's a Packers fan. And so Packers have been kind of spoiled in the way they've had great quarterbacks doing great things for a long time. And I can't remember when I seen my quarterback willed to the win. You know what I'm saying? Back when we had a running game with Ricky and Ronnie, that shit was fun. But that's hard to freaking come by, bro. And Thomas just jumped in here. Tony, go ahead, brother. But Thomas just jumped in and bringing a Packer fan in here now. What's up, Thomas?
Really quick before they go, I just want to jump on what Color said, and I think he nailed it right on the head. You cannot win games if your offense is going 3 and out, and then all of a sudden you're pointing at the defense while they give up 35 points. We held Tampa Bay to the fourth quarter. We held the Bills in that second game to the fourth quarter. But we couldn't produce anything on offense, and like any other any defense that's been out there for too long, they get tired. They get tired and they start slipping, and that's just natural. But people don't.
It's a passing league too,
and that's in the 20-degree weather of Green Bay. Forget the South Florida heat.
Yeah, and you got to remember the rules.
As long as they do deep into the third quarter, that's amazing to me. It's a testament to their conditioning that they can do that in the South Florida heat and humidity.
Thank you.
Yep. Go ahead, Tony.
Honestly, this situation with the Dolphins and the coaching situation is starting to push me off of trusting Ross even doing the right thing and moving away from even watching the Dolphins at all. This situation is pissing me off already with Ross. He's had a track record of not knowing how to hire coaches correctly because no one wants to deal with him controlling. Ross controls everything. He's a micromanager and stuff like that. He micromanages everything. Honestly,
I think Greer more so than Ross. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. But Anthony, I worry. I don't know, man. I got a lot of faith in Greer personally. I think Greer's a smart guy. I'm hoping.
Honestly, I don't have faith in him. I think we fired the wrong person. I honestly feel that we fired the wrong person. I think we should have fired Greer instead of Flores. But I understand why they did it because Flores actually apparently he almost got in a fist fight with Ross.
That's what the word is. That it was heated and almost physical. With I don't know if it was Ross so much, but the conversation was physically heated, and I don't know, man. I thought it was Godsey that I heard that it became very almost physical and threatening with, but it doesn't matter. It obviously happened in the building. You know what I'm saying? We don't know who or what, but it was a personal thing that happened. And he said right away it wasn't performance based. So Thomas, what's happening, brother? You there, Thomas?
Oh, and I actually have an I was just we have the highest we're at 4-2 to land Aaron Rodgers, the Dolphins.
We shall see. This is the Dolphins, though.
If we
We're
get
talking
hard,
about, Tony.
this is
We're gonna screw this up no matter which way, whether it's a head coach or a quarterback. We'll find a way to screw it up.
Like I'm really hoping that, you know, me and Mike on the mic have been just he talked about the dream. He sold me on the dream. That's why I'm picturing Caldwell. I talked about that because right now we're married to Tua. It seems by all account, by how media is acting, by how shows are acting. It's like, guess what? We're married to Tua, and if that's the case, go all in.
They want to prove. This is what pisses me off. They want to be proven right with Tua. They know they made the mistake of.
I gotta hold out some hope of even crazier scenarios that Chris Greer's so smart that he can maneuver himself flexibility where if I can't get Rodgers, I can stick with Tua. If Rodgers goes to Denver, because Denver seems to be one of the favorites right now for Rodgers. If he ends up going to Denver, then okay, goes to Denver. We stick with Tua. Let's make it work. So the coaching hire would dictate that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know though.
Well, Chris,
if they screw this up, I've had enough. This owner's got to go. This GM's got to go. Let's take this young talent and give it into the hands of someone who can show me something, bro. Because this better not be a miss the playoffs year coming, bro. We're talking we better go to the damn playoffs and not just go, but know why we're there. Don't sneak in. Don't give me a lame duck coach that kind of sneaks in. We've seen this happen before. Adam Gase gets hired.
Like Cully,
they go to the freaking playoff. Huh?
Like Houston with Cully. Almost
like any of this shit we've had here before. I don't want to see overextension and luck. We play bad teams, sneak in there. I need something tangible. And if it is Tua that they're married to, make him the baddest quarterback I've ever seen in my life. I want to see the guy that threw 50 touchdowns in college.
And if they do, if you are like, if that's what's the case that they're locked in with Tua. That brings up a very interesting question as to whether Tua can actually make it through training camp or not. Because are they going to really bring in some Yahoo backup that could potentially be better than Tua, but not make Tua compete through training camp? Are they really going to do that?
I don't know, man. I mean, they're not.
I'm hard.
They've already done that. They got rid of Fitzpatrick for that.
Here's a better question for everyone. If Tua does pan out, say he does pan out, he puts up great numbers, shows progress, whatever it is in his third year. Once that free agency comes around, what makes anyone believe that Tua wants to stick around after the shit he went through in Miami? We have to move on just on an insurance policy basis alone.
No, there's literally an entire situation where he performs and says fuck off.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
That's kind of why I'm at where I'm at, where when I post in chat the blanket statement that Tua is finished in Miami, whether it's now during training camp, or end of next season, Tua is finished in Miami.
Justin says in here, he's torn between Peterson and McDaniel, but he wants creativity and leadership. I think creativity and leadership comes with Peterson. I don't know if leadership comes with McDaniel. There is something to be said that, hey, maybe he, being a younger guy, can relate more to the players and they'll follow more. Maybe there's a better cohesion of work, but I can't, dude. I would be upset if they hired him as our head coach. I would think, oh fuck, here we go again. That's all I would think. Even if we got to the playoffs, I'd be happy. But in the back of my head, I would be reserved as a scarred pain Dolphins fan, thinking, is this fool's gold? Are we just here to watch my player get his clock cleaned and laid out on the ground and embarrassed? We're just a walkthrough for the team we're playing against,
all for the neat little sound effect when he makes a play,
I don't know if that's what it is,
No,
but
they I don't know if you've been to a game, but they literally play that. That's his version of Cam Newton's cat growl in Carolina.
no, I've been to the game and stuff. I listen, and I get that. That's what's cool. You need a gimmick, brother. This is entertainment,
Sure.
and I hope they're playing the shit out of it if he's our quarterback.
Yeah. I'm just pointing out that what this truly all is about for Ross. He's got to get whatever he can out of a fifth overall round pick investment.
I mean, shit, bro. I hope that's not the case, dude. Because listen, if Ross is a savvy businessman, he's got to think, fuck, I got to cut my losses. I've already played this damn game before. If he's not learning, then he's got to fucking go. He's got to go. I can't make this assessment.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on exactly.
How
my eyes tell me, why aren't we trying to get Aaron Rodgers in here right now? You know what I'm saying?
As Dolphins fans, I'm upset at our fan base because we've been through this so many times. You think people would have learned already, and they haven't learned. They still cling on to hope where we should have been, 2 years and done. That's it. Now they want to give him a third year. I understand the third year, but as Dolphin fans who've seen this time and time and time again, you guys have to be smarter than this. You have to get, in front of the 8 ball, not behind the 8 ball with a situation like this. And Ross in the front office should have already known this going in.
Totally agree.
How did they screw this up? Everyone knows who's a longtime Dolphins fan that Tua is not the answer. That Tua doesn't show, the style or the creative playmaking ability to extend the play. But it's like they've been blind for the past 20, 25 years. And it's like, oh my God, because we picked a 5th round quarterback out of Alabama, he's going to become this great quarterback in his 3rd or 4th year when we don't have time for that.
Yeah. My question is, guys, when was the last time, being football fans in general, that you can remember a quarterback in the last 20, 30 years in the NFL that an Alabama quarterback was successful and won Super Bowls? The last one I can remember, it hasn't been 30 years, was Joe Namath. Namath.
You're right, Anthony.
And that was in the 60s.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not. I love this stat because it's such an indictment on an organization that has just slaughtered college football. It's just, I like the jab at them. I mean, they deserve some. I mean, sons of bitches win all the time. I was so happy to see Georgia win.
It's the same thing that the University of Miami was doing. I mean, there's only been really 1 to 3 highly successful Hurricanes quarterbacks.
Yep.
And it's because that school had so many nasty playmakers at every position
coming out of the wazoo. Hall of Famers, bro.
I mean,
Hall of Famers.
Steve Walsh, bust. Gino Torretta, bust. Vinny Testaverde, long career, but never really won anything big.
Yeah, I was going to say
Bernie Kosar, same thing.
Bernie Kosar. But, Kelly.
Who's the guy that came in behind? I already named him, Steve Walsh.
Mike, what's up, buddy?
The only one that ever even got to the Super Bowl that I can think of was Jim Kelly.
Yep, Kelly.
Listen, I have a rule: don't draft a quarterback from Alabama, and don't trade with the Patriots. Those are my 2 rules when it comes to the
NFL. see, and this is what I hate with. I have friends who are Patriots fans, and they brag about Tom Brady. If it wasn't for Bill Belichick hating Drew Bledsoe, you would have never heard about Tom Brady. Like Bledsoe got pushed out by Belichick.
Go sit down, please.
Huh?
Mike's got the kids. Listen, the one thing I want to say is that Tua reminds me of one person, and that's Chad Pennington. Accurate within the first 10 to 15 yards, but after that, he's not accurate. Plus, I think Tua's decision making, especially his Wonderlic score. How did that get past the front office? The guy has a 13 Wonderlic score. That is insane. Absolutely insane.
The funny thing, John, funny you should bring that up, but Marino. I'm going to bring up Marino. He had like a 12, yet he was his Wonderlic score was like a 12 or a 10. And I think that's what they thought was going to happen with Tua, that just because your Wonderlic was so high, I'm going to use actually. What's his name? Ryan Fitzpatrick is a perfect example of a quarterback that had a high Wonderlic score, wasn't successful at all in the NFL, never won any games, and look how many he's been on because of the fact that.
But Tony, it's a
franchises
13. It's a he had the lowest Wonderlic score out of that draft class. Do you know how stupid you have to be have a 13? You get 5 points.
No, that's
for
what
writing
I'm
your
saying.
name,
I think
Tony.
the franchise assumed it was going to be like a Dan Marino thing where Marino had like a 9 Wonderlic score coming out of his draft class, yet he proved on the field that the Wonderlic score didn't mean anything. That's what I thought. That's what I think. That's what I think they thought was going to happen with Tua. In my honest opinion, and Mackenzie and Allen actually want. This is why I don't want Greer as our GM. He's too much of a yes man.
Late night alum asks, what do you guys think about Captain Kirk in Miami? I don't think there's no chance they get him anyhow. I mean,
why?
What are we gonna get, like,
why don't you like him, Mike? Was that you that said no to Kirk? Kirk's
no.
it
was Lakers all day.
Oh, Lakers
I
all
don't
day.
want him, man. I can't because. Okay, how old is he? He's like what, like 30 something? How old is he?
He's
Christian Kirk.
He's
24. He's 25.
33. Oh, no, he's not 25. Okay. He's close to his 30s. I think he's turning 30.
I mean, he's okay, bro, but nah, he's not gonna win us. I mean, he's gonna win us regular season. He's gonna win us regular season games, but is he gonna win us playoff games? That's the question.
Is Tua going to win us playoff games? Is that the question?
Is Tua going to get us to the playoffs?
Nah,
that's my question.
Better question.
I just want to know if we can get to the playoffs. And listen, listen, guys, if you guys have been watching long enough, you'd know, and Mike will contest to this. I said well before all of this became talk about Tua, before we fired Flores, I am so ready to build up Tua to sell him to Carolina because I think I can just sell it to him just right. Tua's a great quarterback, and I wouldn't put it past Chris Greer to figure out a way to build up the draft stock because everyone in Miami, even Tua lovers, knew that you couldn't get nothing but like a 5th-round pick for their 5th overall pick. You know what I'm saying? But now,
speaking of Carolina, real quick,
movement. There's this movement kind of happening where they're finding out from coaches what they think about Tua, finding out a way to narratize it, and maybe they can shop it out to a desperate team that didn't get the coach they want, that didn't get the quarterback they want, and sell him for more than he's worth. Because I think Chris Greer is that smart. And Mike, did I not say this probably 5 weeks ago?
Oh, yeah.
Did. And I've been holding out hope that that's what's really going on here. You know what I mean? With the support and all that.
Chris, yeah. I'm so hot. I'm still trying to get my thoughts together about something that I got a phone call about. A completely unexpected phone call, and what the information I was given was on Larry's show this morning. And I'm hot.
What's up?
Hot, Chris.
What'd you hear?
They never evaluated to a post-injury.
Oh no, I knew that. That for certain.
Like they never even looked into it. They were like his post-op looks good, and his doctor's report looks good.
I knew that for certain, bro. I knew that for certain a while ago.
Well, all I know, bro, is right now this team. The leader, John, the leader in Vegas is Vance effing Joseph.
No, I know. I heard it's horrible. It's horrible.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you guys, I am teetering, and I'm teetering more than I ever have with one of my favorite teams. I am teetering to the point where if they go one way with this, and it's a way that I think they're going to go, and by all reports, if they do go, we are a mother effing joke, and I am done, guys.
Are they really going to hire another scapegoat?
Dude, I'm telling you guys, if they hire Vance Joseph, they force this quarterback on the next coach. They didn't know what they were getting. They never looked at him on tape after the injury. They never did anything due diligence for a number 5 overall pick. They didn't do their due diligence. And because they didn't do their due diligence, right now we look like a joke. We just fired a guy that finally brought a backbone to Miami. We haven't had a backbone in absolutely
Dolphins, right?
forever. And right now, and I get, if some of the reports are right, Flores had to go. I get that. But he finally brought a backbone to Miami, and that backbone's about to be ripped right back out of here, and we are going to be a joke and a laughingstock in the NFL. And all the assets that we're going to have to acquire for 2023 to rebuild this franchise 4 years after we started a rebuild, this is absolutely pathetic. If they go with Vance Joseph when the options are out there, trade everything. LA's proving you don't need draft assets. Trade everything. Go get Aaron Rodgers. Go get Devontae Adams. Go get Nathaniel Hackett. Go get an established head coach if you don't get Aaron Rodgers. Do not go get a first-timer. I'm done, guys. This is absolutely stupid that this team
is pulling out the umbrellas right now. He's ready to go pick it.
I said the same thing on a panel 2 weeks ago, that I was teetering on the edge, that I was thinking about just jumping off the Dolphin ship, and I was getting lambasted left and right. By Felicia this, by Felicia that. And I was so sick of these fans not realizing that the organization just is this dumb and doesn't care about its fan base.
I'm the most positive person y'all will ever meet, and I put that on my life and my family's life. There is not many people in this life that are more positive. I will fight for my team to the end of the day. I do not care. You will not bad talk my team. I will give you stat after stat after stat why this team is better than most people ever give it credit for. But I will fight for it, and I am done fighting, because if they go with Vance Joseph or they go with Mike McDaniel, and they didn't ask anybody else, because Mike McDaniel's had one effing head coach interview request, and it's us. One. If he's so smart, why is not everybody else in the NFL trying to gobble him up? And I know maybe that's going on behind the scenes. Right now, it doesn't look like it. This team is about to do something, and if they do, guys, I can't fight for it anymore. I will sit here and root for him, but I'm not going to have, I'm just not
ready. I think we're all ready for fighting. That's the thing. I'm not ready to leave the team. I'm ready to start really fighting for my Dolphins is what I'm talking about, guys. There's movement happening.
Mike,
I don't think they're going to hire Vance Joseph, bro. I think that's smoke. I think, listen, first of all, Vance Joseph's got people. They would love to have that put out there. Maybe they're doing Vance Joseph a solid. Maybe Vance Joseph might get another head coaching job right now. Same thing with Daboll right now, taking his second trip to New York. Daboll, I think, is probably the front runner in the office hire. But by him going back to New York, it kind of gives him a little leverage over the Dolphins to say, hey, you better hire me soon.
Well, remember,
if you're holding out hope, you guys got to remember, these are businesses inside of businesses inside of businesses.
I live in New York.
I was wondering why there's been so much downplay about the fact that the Giants hired a Bills executive to be their new GM. I mean, doesn't that signal, if Daboll's getting a second interview, that's the package they want?
So I live in New York, and fans are crying for Flores, and the New York Post, I think it was yesterday or today, was go with the flow with a picture of Brian Flores on it. Everyone wants Brian Flores in New York.
Well, see, that is good to hear, because
that means the Jets will get him.
No, they already got their defensive guy.
John.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think, to me, Flores is a perfect fit for that fan base in the Giants fan base specifically.
Well, here, just listen, Tony. Let me just cut you just short, bro. If you think about this, guys, I mean, Flores was known for sticking it to Belichick. He could stick it royally to Belichick if he takes that freaking New York job, because that's the job that Belichick wanted. How petty is this guy? You know what I'm saying? If he gets that if he gets that head coaching job, first of all, I like that about him, though, bro. Fuck that guy, dude. You got enough winning, asshole. You know, it's time for you to retire. Get the fuck out of here.
And Flores is a Brooklyn boy, too, on top of that. So he's
That's right. He's from New York. That's right.
I have a question. How about Josh McDaniel?
The funny thing about Josh is Mike McDaniels is not even on the odds list on BetUS. It's been Josh McDaniels the whole week.
It has been Josh McDaniels
at like
on BetUS.
plus 500.
I know. I've seen that. Odds. I don't know. I don't think Josh McDaniels going anywhere.
Do you guys think honestly for Josh screwed himself with how he treated the Eagle, like he became a pariah after the situation with the Colts?
No, I think he thought that was cool to do, kind of like what Bill did to the
That just
Jets.
shows that he's shrewd. Yeah.
No, it just shows he's the exact same way.
Everybody.
And you know what? Everybody, guess what? Look at it, guys. Look at what comes off the Bill Belichick tree. It is some real assholes, but they're good at what they do in some aspects. But for whatever reason, King Tut asshole up there can wrangle these guys where this one can do the D and this one can do the offense. And wherever those two go, they can't figure the other one out. He keeps them far enough apart where they can't have success on the other side of the ball, apparently, because that's what I've been seeing out of all of his disciples. Whatever.
So, like, what's
the
deal,
bro?
What's
No, but for me, when I look at this, is why for me, my comparison with Brian Flores is not Bill Belichick. He reminds me a little of Parcells, Bill Parcells. He's Parcells, not Belichick, in my honest opinion, in terms of how he acts. Because
no
Parcells
way, bro.
Parcells
had really great rapport with people. Like Parcells was brash. People love Parcells. His players loved him. So, and not to say that his players don't, but if some of the shit that I'm hearing about Flo comes out, that's true. Parcells wasn't that kind of guy. Then again, Parcells was kind of a badass. I don't know. Maybe he'd go at management in a way, but I don't think he would get so unhinged where we're hearing fucking threatening. And first of all, Flores is a big son of a bitch, and he looks
he's sick.
A real one recognizes a real one, and that motherfucker you don't want to get caught in an alleyway with because he's gonna whip your ass. All right, so if he's going around throwing his weight around, that is no way to be, bro. Not when you're a guy that can definitely beat the shit out of people. You got to be more reserved in a people business, especially in a leadership role. If that kind of comes out, I hope that ain't the case, man. I really hope that ain't
Coach Flo's got the predator forehead. I don't know if you've seen
Coach Flo.
He did have a weird laugh. Maybe they
bitch
just
will put you in a phone. Bitch will put you in a phone booth and tee off on you. He's a bad man. So
it was totally a Seinfeld episode. They all conspired because they really didn't like his laugh. He had like a weird laugh, you know.
I just seen that the other day. I've been watching Seinfeld like on repeat these nights. Lakers all day. What were you gonna say, bro?
Hey, Chris, if you realize it, after the game, right, when Flo said that he made a mistake and that, you know what I'm saying, that he realized that, you know, he was in the wrong.
Oh no, listen, after that game, you seen his face. He looked like a dead man walking.
He lost his composure, and that's what Brian Flores was always about, was composure. You saw him lose it twice. Somebody brought it up earlier about the time that he went on the field to defend his team, and then the second time I saw it was when he lost his composure on the sideline and went after Tua the way he did in front of everybody. That's what he brought to this team, was composure and structure, and you know. Again, hey, Big Mike, I know I got an annoying voice, bro. I've had an annoying voice for 37 years. It ain't never going to change, so don't worry about it.
I think he was talking about my voice. I'm from Long Island.
Oh, either way.
He was posting all kinds of stuff.
But here's my deal, though. Like,
he was just trolling for a little bit.
Right now, what I'm worried about is that Ross made the Tua pick, and now he's trying to cover his ass. And if he's trying to cover his ass, he's going to hire the guy that's going to do exactly what he wants to do. Because, Chris, you know Chris Greer. And I trust Chris Greer. And if this is right, that they never evaluated post-op, I'm telling you right now, if they never looked at him throw a ball after they post-op, this isn't Greer. Nope. This has Ross written all over it.
Well, and listen, Ross fell in love. Ross called the audible. There was a plan, and that's what happened.
And Flores, here's the thing. We've all said it. Chris Greer does what Ross wants, okay? Chris Greer does know. He's smart. He's the smartest guy in the room. And right now he knows how to keep his job, is being the smartest man in the room, is to be on Ross's side. Greer stood up to Ross, and I believe that I told you so. And what do you guys know about winning? I think that was because Ross picked Tua, and nobody else had a say. Tua saw his guy, and somebody said it earlier, and I'll say this till I die. Name an Ohio State, an Alabama quarterback. Name a quarterback from a school that dominates other teams that is good in the NFL. It has to be a guy. It doesn't have to be, but most of them come from where they had to fight because there was a lot of good teams in their division. And granted, I get Alabama.
They already been through what Tua is going through, what Tua expects us to deal with for the first 3 or 4 years of his career.
And I saw somebody else. Here's the thing. I saw somebody else post that Tua made Alabama change their philosophy from a run game to a spread offense. Okay, so cool. He made them do that. But again, they play a bunch of Joe Schmoes, and they have the best system, recruiting, head coach, assistants, best system in college football. You go there, you're going to win. They are the powerhouse. He is Bear Bryant of this generation. Teams that get a quarterback like that, I think the reason they don't do well, and mainly Ohio State and Alabama, is because their stats look absolutely incredible because they're in a system that dominates everybody on their schedule. And so when they get to the pros, and now every single team you're playing against is like your Alabama practices or better. And so there's no, okay, well, we can dominate the other side of the ball now. And I believe that's why the RPO is not working. And if Dabo comes here, cool. I read something about Dabo today that Josh Allen said, and he's a player's coach. People really love him. Okay, Josh Allen said that he loves his family, and that's why he doesn't want him to go. But he understands that the best interest for Dabo is to go get a head coaching job. So if Josh Allen really believes that, and maybe he did unlock Josh Allen, and it didn't take Josh Allen to make Brian Dabo, I'm just so worried about this perpetual circle of insanity of trying to do it different than everybody else that's making it happen, trying to do it different than the teams like the Patriots, the Chiefs, the teams like Pittsburgh that's been dominant for years. Yeah, they're going through a downturn because of big
deal.
men.
We're looking at teams that don't go this route. And
we are trying to do it different. We're trying to recreate something that doesn't need to be. Why do you recreate the wheel? Why would you do that? You have a prime example of how to build an organization, build a team, and build a depth of a team. There are 4 or 5 of them that you can model yourself out of. And when you bring a guy like Flores in, you give him full 5 years, and we get all the wussies out of this locker room and the millennials and the guys that are cry on my shoulder because he yelled at me kind of guys. Because if I back this till I hear.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, Mike, but since you brought it up, man.
Kohler, I will back this to the day I die. Don Shula is the greatest coach. Don Shula is the greatest coach. Listen, guys, Don Shula is the greatest coach in NFL history, and he loved Brian Flores. They talked every day when Don Shula was alive. And then this guy comes in here. He does it differently than Ross wants. Ross looks bad because Tua's not performing as a number 5 overall pick in year 2, hasn't shown shit on tape with the superstar quality attached to it, except maybe his footwork. He comes out there and he does the best of what he's given until he changes his mechanics. Tua's never going to take us to the next level until he humbles himself and realizes the last 15 years of playing football, I did it this way, but now I can't. Until he realizes that he's not going to get better. And I believe that. You bring a guy like Sean Payton, maybe you unlock Tua, because Tua can see like, oh, well, Drew Brees had a lot of these comments said about him, so how do you make him better? And so then we can go that route. But that's an established head coach. That's not a first-timer. That's not doing it different. That's taking a proven theory that became something on a field that manifested into reality, and it works. Don't go you're not looking for the next Sean Payton. You're not looking for the next Sean McVay. You're not looking for the next Matt LaFleur. You're looking for a guy that can take this locker room that is fractured one way or the other. If you look at it, it's fractured. Because if any of this is true, awesome. If all of it's false, why is it being reported? Some of this you have to read between the lines, and some of it's true. And if it is true, this guy, you have to come in here with skins on the wall to repair this organization. And somebody said it earlier, I'm emotional because I'm losing my faith in my team, and I want somebody to save my fandom. And that is an established guy that has stuff on the wall that can take this team to the next level and stop giving us mediocrity.
Okay.
Boy, I got a hard on listening to you right now.
Yeah, because ultimately what it sounds like Mike is saying is that Ross didn't tell us the complete truth. Yes, he wants to win a Super Bowl, but he wants to win a Super Bowl with whoever he chooses the quarterback to be. So he's on this quest to find this one coaching staff that'll get his. Okay, I'm not going to hate on Tua. I don't want to go there, but you know what I mean. Okay.
No, you could go there.
He's
We're
trying
all
to
accepting
find
of
this
it.
coach. He's trying to find this coaching staff that's going to take this level of quarterback play to a Super Bowl. And I just don't know if that person will ever exist. I don't even think Bill Belichick could do it.
I think we've seen a ceiling. I think we've seen to a ceiling, to be honest with you. I agree. If that's what you're aiming at, I agree with you.
I gotta kind of hold out hope that a lot of his falter came in lack thereof strength, especially if this team rolls with him. Because if they're going full in on him, then I gotta play it out. You know what I'm saying? But dude, I'm ready to storm the castle. All right. If this shit blows up in our face,
right there with you, bro.
It's storming the castle time. It's done. Ross gotta fucking go. We gotta figure out
Mike.
We gotta figure. I know. Okay, yeah, you can't make him leave. And listen, I'm not saying that, but shit can't. This repetitive hamster wheel that this team has been on, where it's recycled ideas at this point. This is why we can't have a first-time head coach. We can't have it.
Hey, Chris,
we can't have a first-time head coach.
I posted a link in the private chat for the Doug Peterson video. It's only 8 minutes and 50 seconds long. If you wanna throw up to people what what we need in Miami.
Great idea.
You know what I mean? A great example of what we need in Miami.
Like I said,
Mike,
great idea.
What up, Tony?
And it's there. Hold on.
You know what worries me about the Sean Payton thing, though, is that apparently the owner, the Benson family, actually, if the last of the owners passes away, they're going to offer him part ownership of that team.
No,
So,
I thought no. They said they're going to give it to the city of New Orleans.
The city of New Orleans gets
just like Green Bay.
Yes, it's already done.
That's
interesting.
That's what's going to happen. But the team, the fans are going to want to keep Sean Payton, though. That's the problem.
Sean Payton is only using the Dolphins in this situation for leverage of power, bro. More money, more power, dog. Listen, he ain't going nowhere. Would I trade picks for him if Sean Payton comes here and says, I'll make Tua into the next Breeze or whatever the fuck he says? I'm game, bro. Bring him in. But I ain't holding my breath for nothing like that. You know, I just don't see that happen. I know a lot of people are talking. There's little deal. Ooh, Sean Payton's not good. I've seen this game before. I want more money. I want more power. I want more control. Write an article about me, you know, local paper. You know, that's the gameplay. Let me pull up this video, man. We got this. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm going to ask Green Rat in the comments. What do you think of Nathaniel Hackett as a Green Bay fan? Like, is he worth a head coach position, or do you put most of his success on Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur, or did Nathaniel Hackett help Aaron Rodgers get to where he's at? I really am interested from a Green Bay's point of view.
Yeah,
does Nathaniel Hackett have a head coaching experience by chance?
No. College level. I think Syracuse, maybe. I think he may have been a head coach or an QB coach.
His father was Paul Hackett. That was Joe Montana's quarterback's coach.
Speaking of which, I'm seeing Dolphin fans looking at coaches in college to bring up. I'm like, guys, what are you doing? What are you saying out there?
Right, like heard of Urban Meyer? Anybody? You know,
like what happened to this fan base, man? We need a lot.
Did you see that? Did you see the video of the guy that was like, I've got a source that we're getting Urban Meyer, and he pulled up his toaster.
He pulled the toaster. It was great. I believed him too. I was like, oh my god, please no.
All right,
yeah, I was originally offering Dabo Swinney, but I'm second guessing myself on that.
I don't really want Dabo. I mean, listen, if he comes, like I said, guys, if there's a plan in friggin' place, and it is to build this mecha style RPO that someone believes they can get more orange, you know, more squeeze out of the orange, and there's a solid plan put in place, go for it and make that shit happen. What I don't like is us sitting here simmering where nothing's fucking happening. And now they're writing articles where all of us are getting worked up because you see Vance Joseph's number one on the list. Vance Joseph ain't number one on the list. Are you fucking kidding me? Don't tell me that. That's bullshit, bro.
Don't
That's
count
an
out
article.
the Dolphins.
No, listen, if I've seen them make blunders. They'll make a blunder in a sense of taking a risk that they can sell. If they hire someone that was in the building that, you know, it's just, bro, just no fucking way.
I just hope Chris Greer is somewhere.
If it happens, then the storming of the castle begins early, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I really hope Chris Greer is sitting somewhere in a closet, like practicing his cackling You know.
Oh man, if that wasn't a comment of the day, I don't know what.
Guys, my only hope is that Flo came out of nowhere. So maybe we're gonna get somebody that just hasn't been brought up yet. That's my only hope.
I think Jim Caldwell is the real fallback, guys, to be honest. And that's something I made at the beginning of the video.
That should be the number one guy.
Fallback. Well, I think when Caldwell came here as a part of this, if you guys remember, before Flores was hired, when Chris Greer brought in McKenzie and everybody, and Caldwell was a part of the team building and all this new changeover, it was speculated that Caldwell might end up our coach. And then he walked away from the team. He had some health stuff. I'm telling you guys, I think the long game is Caldwell. He's turned down these jobs. I wonder, huh? Yeah. That's walking back bullshit, bro. That's bullshit. Okay, I don't see you. I don't call. Listen, the game is played, guys. Pay attention. That game is played. He didn't turn down the interview. He said, "I respectfully decline. Not that you're a bad organization. I have wheels are in motion somewhere else. If those wheels are in motion, I think they're in motion here." Why would he turn down an interview? Why did he turn down the interview?
When we had Flo, it came out of when we
he
hired
wants
him.
To be a head coach, though.
When we hired Flo, when we hired Flo, nobody saw it coming. So I'm hoping that
it's the same. Him, nobody saw it coming. The hiring will be no one sees coming. It's either going to be Caldwell or we're going to see if it's Peterson. And thanks for the link, bro.
Or Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh.
If it's Harbaugh, I will be fucking elated. I'll be like, damn, these bitches are slick. I worry that Chris Greer is so slick. This is what I tell you. That's all the speculation I got because he's the only son of a bitch with any control in the room. Anyhow, did Chris Greer see that Flores and this power move happens and all this stuff? And 3 weeks before the season ended, he waved that Harbaugh carrot in front of the owner to get the last bit of control. Because even now, if you talk about Harbaugh to him in an interview, he'll break character and he gets all giggly and shit. Oh, Jim, I love Jim, but hey, you know how he does. So, but
I thought something like that too, Chris. Like maybe when Flo flipped out on Ross could have looked him dead in the eye and said, "You know what, Brian, you're right. But it ain't going to be you."
That's right.
Hey, I got one more thing before you start the video to Kevin in the comments. He said it's the O-line and people just ignore that. I watched a guy get sacked 9 times and still lead his team to a win. So it ain't the O-line, Bubba. It's a quarterback that can't do what he has. And that's
you can't tell
and this video right here is going to help illustrate that.
You can't talk to people that way, Mike.
No. Yeah, Mike, you can't, bro. Thank you, John. Straighten up my co-host around here, bro. He's trying to run a whole nother show. How the fuck's he gonna run it with that kind of spout out? I mean, listen.
I just wanted to say a couple points of commentary on that.
Yeah.
Number one, what he showed about a full 7-man box, that's actually the way to defeat it because especially in our case or in, let's say, the Ravens case where their quarterback, despite how much I love the guy, he has a little issue with accuracy in his arm. Now he has the quality that you need to defeat the 7-man box, which is the mid-level throw beyond the linebacker before the safety, but he's not accurate. Now a guy like Nick Foles or Carson Wentz, well, I would prefer Nick Foles myself, but this is why it was so successful in Philadelphia is a guy like Nick Foles. When the defenses start blowing up that box and he needs to hit that mid-level throw, he can do it with a flick of a wrist. And he's so tall, he can see that tight end coming across the middle of the field on the skinny post between the linebacker and the safety. Yeah, if your quarterback can't do that, you cannot defeat the solution to the RPO.
It's not even just that, Color, and I'm going to let Mike answer in just a second.
Yeah.
Hold on, but you know what, man? The RPO can work. Quarterback, smaller quarterback, right blocking, those lanes. You get elite guards, O-line. We get it. Deal is this. If you're going to win in December, January, February, in certain types of games where it's coming down to the wire, and we just seen this Okay, yeah, all right. The games on Saturday were ground out. You know what I'm saying? It was special teams and defense that won them, and that's the case. But you can't win football in today's NFL if you can't spread 5 guys out and have a quarterback that can chuck that bitch and hit mofos. That's the right guy on target.
Thank you.
And that's what I worry about. How is he going to score
And
in 1 minute and 30 seconds
and
left?
in college and high school, you don't need that type of quarterback to defeat the defenses because the linebackers and the linemen.
Yeah, but that shit happens in high school too. You know
right,
what I'm saying?
Of course it does. But what I'm saying is the reason a guy like, let's say, Tua was so successful in Alabama is because it's not meant for that at that level. Those linemen, those defensive linemen and linebackers are not the highest football IQ at that point in their career. They're also a lot slower than NFL defensive linemen and linebackers. And so, and add to that the weapons that are on the offense of Alabama, and Tua becomes deadly in the RPO in the short game. You see what I'm saying? Because they can just air raid that thing in the short game all the way down the field, and then Tua's walking in the end zone on a bootleg. You know what I mean?
So Tony, I see a way for Ross to save face by hiring Doug Peterson, but if they go get a guy like a Devontae Adams or a mentally right Calvin Ridley who excels in the intermediate route, taking that pass to the house deep, I see a way for Peterson to come in here and win with Tua. And that's A's, Dolphins, Grizzlies right there. That's another thing. Like, if you can get guys like a Tyreek Hill, like a Jalen Waddle, like a Jamar Chase, like somebody that can win in space that's really good. And elite. Jamar Chase showed me that he has a route tree that I didn't expect. But if you build your team that way with the Lynn Bowden Jr., the Jalen Waddle, the Albert Wilson, guys that are shifty in space and can take the ball to the next level. And Devontae Parker, you thought he was going to be that, but obviously he's not healthy enough to do it. So you can win with Doug Peterson if you go get a Devontae Adams and go get a Calvin Ridley, and then you don't have to change much. You just take all the rest of the money and put it on the O-line.
And if you can't win, a guy like Doug Peterson has enough clout to be trusted in that decision by Ross. That's why it's a no-brainer to me. It's like, why are we even talking about these first time, like, doing all this again?
That's right. Like I said, Caldwell, Peterson, get one of these younger, innovative guys coming in here as the OC. Now we have some young creativity. We end up sticking with Tua, so be it. If we get left,
I take Mike or David Shula at this point.
Well, but here's the deal, Color. Say now that Flores is gone. Say Deshaun's off the table. Say Deshaun's going to go wherever he goes. Maybe that's why. And listen, that's why New York wants him. You know what I'm saying? They're thinking Deshaun, Flores, defense, march to the Super Bowl, especially in the NFC least. I mean, the Cowboys ain't going to stop them. Let's get real.
The script is there.
You know what I'm saying? My point is that Deshaun leaves, Rodgers slips through our fingers, Russell hangs on for one more year. We're stuck with the guy we got. If they, and I've heard this from other guys too, build that fucking team anyhow. In the offensive line, get the weapons. We got 2 first-round draft picks next year. Use those, pile it in, go that way. I think Chris Greer's keeping himself multiple, making up for the mistake his owner did make because it looked like another. And this is right on par with Stephen Ross. It's cool, go, and then a flip-flop personal decision for personal reasons. And I don't know, is it him doing things? He's the only common denominator at this point, because but listen, Mike, when they fired Tony the way he did, it was a personal way to do it, man. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I mean, I don't know. There's a common denominator here. And I'm not Go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say you're right. It's that Ross doesn't have a backbone.
So Sperano was
Does he
literally
not
the
have a
start of the
backbone,
cycle.
or does he feel like is he an egomaniac that has to take out the biggest dog in the fucking room?
Yes, but let me tell you why I think he doesn't have a backbone. Because we became a national news story because of bullying on a football field and football team. We became a national news story because of bullying. That was the that was the worst time I ever had having to defend my team, because they were like, really, bullying? And granted, I'm not taking away what happened, but I was bullied my whole life. They held me back 3 different times in school. But on a football team, on a football field, on a football practice, yes, I get it. Maybe it shouldn't have happened, just like the stuff we're hearing about Flores. Maybe it shouldn't have happened. But Ross has been the common denominator, as you said, and I just don't think he has a backbone. I don't think he likes people that come in here and are tough.
Man, I still get bullied by our secondary, man. You know what I mean? Like from high school, man. I still got our guys from our secondary bullying me to this day.
Tony, I'm hoping. Tony says, Mike, can you trust the second in command when Ross decides to step down now to make the same mistakes Ross did when he was our owner? I'm hoping the second in command watches the football.
The second in command is a Patriots fan, by the way, guys.
Maybe he does it the Patriots way.
I don't know, man. He's been here 21 years. I wouldn't call him.
Well, I'm just saying, Ross for me right now.
If that's the longest play of Bill Belichick and I find out, then that man is the GOAT, bro. That's the fucking most genius move ever, just to infiltrate other teams this way. Fuck, bro. Robert Kraft's an asshole if that's what's happening.
Well, Chris, you said it. 20 years he's been here. That's about when the cycle. That's about when the cycle started.
But what Color was saying before, and I have to agree. I mean, if we're gonna stick with Tua, I mean, Doug Peterson at this point is a no-brainer. We should just
the only way.
We gotta go get Doug Peterson at this point.
Yeah, because even if you just look, even if you want to appease the Tua guys, you could say, well, he won with Nick Foles.
Yeah.
The narrative is that Nick Foles is a trash quarterback. I don't personally believe that, but you know what I mean? It is what it is. So if you're like, hey, Doug Peterson, he won with Nick Foles, you know, it's like, oh, they'll get that gleam in their eye. But again, at the same time, Peterson is the guy for me as far as all around, because he also has one other aspect that he brings to the table, is that because he's Dolphins lore, he can get a lot of these Joe Rose types and Bo Camper types back on the fence, even if it is going with Tua. You know what I mean? He holds enough clout with them.
I just think Peterson's the only way to save face for this.
That's what I'm saying. Unify the entire Dolphin community.
If you don't go with Peterson, sorry, real quick, John, I want you to go next. If you don't go with Peterson, you have to change your quarterback, because otherwise I feel like you forced him on the next quarterback, because Tua doesn't have the mechanics to be consistent. And unless your guy can just dabble, but I still think the writing's on the wall for Dabble to New York. If Dabble shows up here, maybe, just maybe, Tua will listen to him and just tweak him. He's been doing it one way for 15 years. That's all he knows. Now he needs somebody that has skins on the wall that can come in here and say, okay, I know you've done that, but there's too many inconsistencies in your release, in your footwork, and where your weight is when you're throwing it. You're not getting enough torque in your hip anymore. We need to just tweak some things. Let's get more power behind your throw by doing this differently. Somebody gets to him and allows him to do that, or convinces him that it's okay to do that and that he gets on board and wants to do that, I think we can win with Tua. I just don't think Tua will ever be worth the number 5 overall pick, and that's why I'm embarrassed as a Dolphins fan, because the number 5 overall pick as a quarterback, you have to be certain. And if you didn't do your due diligence, Stephen Ross, and you picked a guy because one of your buddies said, oh no, he's going to be amazing, and you took it on the post-op, surgery looks good, all that stuff. If that's why we picked him, man, it's just – I understand why Flores is gone. I mean, that's all there is to it.
And going back to Daboll, if we go down that road, what they did, Josh Allen, I don't know if I talked about this before, but Josh Allen, they had an interview with Josh Allen, and they sat down, I think it was at the end of his first year or beginning of his second year, and they basically used computers to figure out what was lacking in his game, and they figured that they found that he wasn't using his hips enough when he was throwing the ball, causing him not to be as accurate. And ever since
that usually isn't always the case, man. Sorry, John.
No, but ever since they got to the bottom of it, that's when his accuracy started to pick up, and that's where we see the Josh Allen that we do now. But going back to what I was saying previously at the beginning of this stream, it is so important for the Dolphin fan base at the front office hits this head coach hire, because if they whiff, I mean, we're already divided, I think, more than Republicans and Democrats at this point. And if they whiff on this head coaching hire, I mean, you're going to see,
well,
pitchforks.
What's funny, John, is that I think I know you kind of made the analogy to Republicans and Democrats, but I think we're divided because of a lot of the same devices, if you know what I mean, like political devices in the building.
100%.
Like,
I agree with you.
I really think that Ross, I forget the guy's name, that principal that was out at Evergreen, that the student rioters were making do jumping jacks and all that. Like, I think that's what level Ross is at in the building. Like, I think that I think like the people, like the trainers and the staff and all the people that that get a paycheck from that organization for menial tasks, I think they literally are like have Ross doing jumping jacks.
So John,
Yeah,
I think where I'm at right now is you talked about the division in the fan base. Well, I got it for both sides. Bring them here, and I'll set them both straight, because right now I'm smack dab in the middle. That I can tell you why Tua is wrong, and I can tell you why Tua Lover's wrong, and I'll tell you why both of them are wrong.
And that's where the fan base needs to be. But right now, it's the Shangri-La effect, where we're both on opposite sides of the spectrum, and we're screaming at each other, and there's no compromise, and there's no middle ground. It's
John,
it's
not
becoming
not to
tribal.
cut you off, John, but like, and I'm sorry, guys, I had to close the windows. It's got freaking cold as shit in like the last 10 minutes here. I started freezing my ass off. Anyhow, it's, you know what I've noticed, and I like Twitter. I use Twitter. It's fun. I meet a bunch of cool people. They find me on Twitter. Matter of fact, if you're watching us on Twitter, come over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel, guys. But I'm noticing in Twitter Spaces, on Twitter, things like that, especially in Twitter Spaces, one guy will have 10 accounts. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing stopping that from happening. On social media, these guys are crowing about being loudest for Tua with no statistic. And not that I don't see what I saw in Tua at times, and especially, with Doug Peterson and the right hire, that there's a process in which you build a great fucking team anyhow. And if that can be duplicated and he has growth, that's great. And listen, a lot of speculations made over his body and how his mechanics are bad. And I've looked at the video. I broke down the video with Doug Lee, Green Rat. I seen you in there. I broke it down with a TD on TD's channel, and there was a few of us there breaking it down, and it was ugly, bro. It was ugly. It looked slingshot in there, and that was a cold game, first of his cold games. It was the coldest game he has played. He stiffened up. It looked bad. It was off target. They dove to the left. Yeah. They dove on the ground.
You say that.
He's not following through, Chris.
He also played in Alabama.
He's just not following through.
I mean, they have cold games in Alabama. I don't understand.
I know that. I know that. I'm thinking just of the injury. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I like I said, guys, and I've said this before, I broke my hip. Not my hip, but my femur right at my hip. And it was in a car wreck. It's the only way you could break a femur is if you get into a fucking car wreck. So in some ways, but no bullshit, I was walking in 6 months and I was back to work in 7. But it's taken me a long time. I still have bits of atrophy here and there, and it's been years now.
And the weather still bothers
you,
I assume.
Oh, fucking right, dude. When it gets cold, dude, I can feel where I must have broke some shit in my hand. Actually, I know I did. It swelled up real big. I just never went and got it checked out because fuck all that. And my ribs that I broke in that car wreck, I broke 6 ribs and cracked 2 more. It was a bad car wreck. So,
hey, real quick on that short throw to Mac Hollins, right? I think that's what we were just talking about. It really looked to me like Tua was trying to
force it
in there,
or
yes,
but it's what he was trying to force is that what I noticed. It seemed like he was trying to force a quick release just for the sake of being like Dan Marino.
I don't think that's what it was, but it's almost like he was stiff. He just wanted it to go, and
he's not following through.
Almost as if somebody.
None of it looked.
Almost as if somebody.
None of it looked right.
Like what I'm saying is almost like somebody has been whispering in his ear his whole life. Throw like this.
No,
so you can be the next.
It looked like
that's been the case.
And he was palming it, throwing it.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, that's how the ball came right out of his hands. He was all like this, all stiffed up.
Like he was throwing palm.
Exactly. I think Tua is a deer in headlights right now, and I think he's scared to get hit, and that's why he's not following through because he's trying to get out of there.
Oh shit! Sorry, Mike.
No, you good. Sorry, I just think that even on the rollout, he didn't know where the guy was behind him. He didn't want to get hit, so he was trying to get rid of the ball so it wouldn't be a late hit. So it'd be a late hit if they hit him. But I think he is worried about getting hurt. I think maybe one of those hits, that broken rib, maybe some of these hits are starting to like.
Then Mike, we got a real problem. If this is a mental game with Tua,
if it's a mental game, dude, we're fucked.
Okay. I'm telling you guys, I was gonna save this for my show. I was gonna save this for my show, but I'm gonna tell y'all now. Here's why I'm scared, and you just said it. I think Flores, one way or the other, ruined this kid mentally. And I think the offensive coordinator changing like it has, and Chan Gailey, a guy that's proven and established, didn't have faith in him. I think his mental fortitude right now is he doesn't trust his hip. He doesn't trust his game. He's hearing things that aren't there. He doesn't understand that he's scared.
Sam Darnold now. He's got ghosts.
Man, he's
I wasn't
going to say it, but since you did. I think he's scared up here. And if he's scared up here, y'all are right.
But it's not from Flores, and I'll tell you where it's from. It all comes from his daddy. And I'll tell you why it comes from his daddy.
Yes.
Because
John
that guy has controlled this kid his whole life. I brought this up, and I want everyone to think about it. Has Tua had a girlfriend yet? And I know it's not a big deal, and whatever his relations are with women, I really don't care. But it just seems like his dad controlled his life and is still controlling his life.
John, I'd like to piggyback off that. I'd like to piggyback off that because I was going to say it in a different way. Is that Tua is even beyond Miami. I firmly believe that Tua is never going to have success in the NFL until he Lonzo balls his dad.
See this. You're so right.
You see what I'm saying? It starts with the left-handed throwing, and this is what I was pointing out. It's as if he's had something in his ear his whole career. No matter what you do, you got to have a quick release. You know what I mean?
Ennis, I'm defending Tua right now. Ennis, I'm defending Tua right now. Don't get it mistaken, Bubba. I'm defending him because I think he's screwed up here, and that's something that you gotta get the right guy. And maybe the familiar.
Well, Mike, you remember?
Real quick, if I could finish and say for myself, whenever I've been in the backyard or on the field trying to force a quick release, it usually
don't ever go where you want it to go.
No. And it usually causes you to do exactly what he did there.
And it's because now he asking if he got a girlfriend.
It's because I just think his dad controls his life, bro.
He's got a lot to ball his dad.
Hey, is he gonna get set up? No, listen. And this is something I said, and it's been. I wanted to see Tua get that look in his eye and take over a game, and when superstar mode. And if you can look back to that week when I talked about it on after the loss. That was the perfect game. If all this shit happened and people talk about sabotage and he sabotaged him and stuff like that, maybe he fucking did. I don't know. But even if everything was true, that Flores hated Tua, he wanted a different quarterback. Why didn't Tua step up and go, "All right, bitch"? You know what I'm saying? Like get it and go at him. And that would have been the time to do it. And I don't know, man. A lot of people on the Tua's argument side will say, listen, if he had someone to support him and not hinder him and create a rift in the locker room, then maybe it'd be different. But to me, and he's a young man, I get it, but he is a grown man. He makes millions of dollars. You got to say, fuck you, bro. You ain't standing in my motherfucking way. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a man about it. And if it's a limitation through physical stuff, I'd like to know that. If there's growth to be had, I want to see it. And in no way this scenario goes one or two ways, guys. He's 5-6 years in the league and he's a serviceable quarterback and starter, or he washes out, because I don't think he's going to be a backup. You know what I'm saying? If he doesn't make it as a starter, he won't make it as a backup, because no one's going to keep him as a backup. I don't know, maybe, it's just, I don't know if his pride could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the expectations are extremely high for him.
Man,
I
we
think
got to
that-
segue,
I
because
think
I
the
think
Bill-
Ennis is about to have his eyes are about to pop out of his ears.
I think if anything that the Bills and Chiefs game showed yesterday was that we can no longer have a serviceable quarterback in the AFC.
So I want to piggyback off of that. I want to ask Green Rat that his pocket presence is great, but we've seen right now in today's NFL, the talent on the defensive lines is so great that it is more rare to have a dominant offensive line than it is to have a good quarterback. And the dominant offensive lines are on teams with old quarterbacks. And so when those guys are out, these young guys that are coming in, unless they're perfectly healthy and really there's not really a next man up that's really proven to me. Maybe Terrence Steele in Dallas, he was serviceable after Tyron Smith went down, but it's more rare to have the offensive line that Tua needs, because I agree with you, man. I've said the one superstar quality he has to me is his.
I wouldn't call that more rare. I'd call like the wall that they build in Dallas. Yeah, that shit's rare. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the reason I'm saying it's rare is
that
because
shit comes down to health. Burrow got sacked 51 times. Ryan Tannehill got sacked 49 times. You had guys like Tom Brady until somebody you're getting your
until
ass
his
sacked.
right tackle went out.
That's my problem. That's my biggest fucking
But they don't
worry
need a perfect pocket.
all.
But they don't need a perfect
I know that.
pocket.
It's not about perfect pocket. Get sacked. Can he get sacked and not be injured and have it mess with his mechanics when it's already limitations?
The answer is no.
And John, I remember weeks and weeks ago when you said that exact word, that your biggest worry was that if he takes hits, which he's going to do, is it always going to be physical limitations with his throwing motion?
So,
John, hold on,
ahead,
Mike.
John.
Hold on, Mike. Go ahead, John. Remember when you said that?
No, I mean, to be honest, that's the biggest question is his injury proneness and him getting hit, and that's always going to be a factor in his mental game.
So,
and it's never going to change.
Well, there's been one quarterback that's the GOAT that when you hit him enough times, he sucks, and it's Tom Brady. So if you're not going to be able to take a hit and you don't have Tom Brady's
the difference
45,000 years old
without
now,
having an offensive line. If you don't have an offensive line, you have to be a playmaker at quarterback. And what we've seen is that Tua is not a playmaker at the quarterback position.
I want to say he can be, though. I really do think if he can get his confidence back, he's shown at times he's shifty. He's got great pocket presence. I give him that. He's better than some of these guys that are just in the same draft class or before. He's got great pocket presence. He just doesn't have a pocket. And I've seen him be shifty, John. I have. But what I'm getting at is it's not consistent.
Mike, he runs around like a chicken without a head.
No, but okay, yes. After the Jets game, listen. After the Jets game,
he does
I thought
do
he got his moxie back. I thought he got his moxie back after the Jets game. He tried it again and he got put on his ass. And I think after that he was like, all right, never mind, I'm good.
Can we get to Brady's ex ball curator? Maybe shave a little bit of the poundage off. You know?
That would be fucking good, bro. That's actually pretty smart.
Work for Brady.
Work out the corners a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Take about a half.
Listen, I want Tua to be successful. Tua being successful means playoffs for us. No, every Dolphin fan wants that, but he does not pass the freaking eye test at the end of the day. I'm sorry.
He hasn't shown me superstar qualities. He just hasn't. And that's what I want from a number 5 pick.
You should have seen some of it by now, and you haven't.
Why is it that my eye test doesn't see beauty in that? Is that called hating? That's what I don't understand.
That's the biggest irritation. And okay, guys, I don't hate
Michael Bolton, but I don't listen to his music either.
Listen, when you draft a young rookie quarterback, and Mike, you made this observation long ago, especially the 5th overall pick, there's expectation of, bro, usually when you get drafted in the top 10 as a quarterback, the team you go to ain't got shit. Your ass is getting lit. The reason they got that top pick is because they suck. They don't have an offensive line. They don't have weapons. Your ass is getting sacked. Tannehill walked into that position. Hold on, Mike. When Tannehill walked in that position, he got blasted a million fucking times. But I think we tempered our expectations. I think we set realistic expectations, and that we go, hey, he's injured. This should be his redshirt freshman year. And I'm giving context to Ennis because I know that's what he would say. And them starting him early hurt him, but it's too fucking little too late. So we'll wash out last year. I'm talking about this year. And him getting injured again and then again didn't help his case with the narrative of you're getting injured. Now, unless they're going to hook him up on some Superman juice, which I hope they do, if that's what it's going to take.
So,
oh Lord, now we cheating, Chris. Now we cheating.
Listen, bro, they've been cheating in New England for decades, dog.
Hey,
Make it fucking happen.
I want to ask everybody a question really quick. With the team the way it is, and the quarterbacks that were available when we took Tua, with the salary cap and everything the way it is, how much better would we be with a guy like Herbert or even a Jordan Love? Maybe that guy ends up, he's got the size. But I'm like, imagine having Justin Herbert with the amount of money we have to spend. Like,
smack dab in the middle of where we. So no, we'd be the same, and I think that's the honest answer. I think we'd be at mediocrity. I don't think.
No.
Maybe. No. Hold on. Maybe
finish,
Herbert
Mike.
gets us. Maybe Herbert gets us to the playoffs this year. Maybe.
No, I'm not talking about this year, bud. I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about having Justin Herbert and almost $100 million to spend around Justin Herbert with your defense the way it is, because all the picks would have been the same if we would have just taken Justin Herbert. And so I'm not saying that we should have taken him. Can you imagine having $100 million with the team the way it is constructed right now, but it's Justin Herbert going into his third
talking
year?
about building an offensive line and buying weapons for Justin Herbert.
I understand.
And having a running back like Eckler?
No, I'm talking about if you put Justin Herbert on this team, John.
Just reverse the role.
Reverse the role. The team is exactly the way it is, except it's Justin Herbert instead of Tua.
And okay, we didn't
money to spend,
say even right now, John, we didn't get to the playoffs, but we're sitting here and we have lost a coach. But what would our position be with a guy like Herbert right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, we could literally. First of all, the weaponry that you could put around a strong arm quarterback, like that's the biggest downfall.
We'd be dropping our balls on the AFC East all over their faces. They'd be scared for the next. We'd be close.
Hold on,
to
guys. Ennis is gonna come in here, and I want to let Ennis get some.
No, he's gonna crucify me. Don't let him.
Let him. He's got to come in. He has his point. And Ennis, I've been trying to get it. In a balance here, but Mike's texted me he's coming in hot. I had no idea it was coming.
And go easy on me. I'm fragile.
It's his fault.
Bro, are we really talking about this man getting laid? Are we serious right now? Are we really serious right now? Oh no. We got down to the point that we're really considering is he getting laid because of his daddy.
Listen,
come on now.
That's part of being a fucking man, dog. I was getting laid.
I'm just saying, like, we analyzing this man's sex life, a football player. Like, come on, man.
We not doing that. It's just that.
Hey, Ennis, I was talking about his throwing, not his personal life. Now,
no.
Y'all want to know if he got 12 inches or every packing? Like, what are we talking about? I understand color evaluation, y'all evaluation on the field, but when we start talking about a man's sex life, that's what I gotta draw the line.
Hold on, John. Lakers all day. Hold on a second. Ennis, I think for us as Miami fans, it would be pretty awesome if it was a little more Tyler Hero-esque, where he's got some smoking fine models he's partying with as a young man with millions of dollars in Miami.
Hold on.
I don't want to keep tossing dollar bills out at 2:00 in the morning on a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? But
we don't want Jimmy G, man.
Yeah, we would respect a little bit of showmanship from our boy. And listen,
but you gotta understand, you're a Christian. How you know you don't have a girlfriend? You just don't want her in the spotlight.
It's not about. And sorry to cut you off, Dennis. It wasn't about being a Christian. I love psychology. I love what goes into people's minds and how they react. I picked up on this, I would say, a couple of weeks ago when I was started investigating like his interactions with his dad and seeing how his dad controlled him. And I was like, did Tua even have a relationship? And I went back all the way to college, and I couldn't even find a relationship that he had in college. And I was like, holy shit, is Tua's dad controlling every aspect of his life?
It is.
That was the angle. It wasn't about his personal social life. It was in relation to, is this possibly an indicator that his dad has too much control? That's
Yeah.
all we were
and
trying
also
to say.
It's like a little more.
And also, Ennis, hold on, Mike, and like, and also, Ennis, it kind of goes to what I wanted to see on the field too. I wanted, even with Flo acting the way, if everything got in everyone's faces, everything, at least on the field as a quarterback, you can control that. If you don't like that play, fuck that play, change that play. You know what I'm saying? Take over and be the man. And I wanted to see that next step out of him, healthier now. But now we're finding all the reasons for the excuses to make sense. But dude, we won the last game of the year and he only put 118 yards up, man. That's fucking, you ain't winning shit like that. You can't.
We ain't winning nothing.
Not with
okay, but Joe Burrow just won. Burrow just won a playoff game doing the same thing.
Joe Burrow threw for 1,000 yards in 2 fucking games.
And
that's all I
he
say.
He didn't throw a touchdown and he threw an interception.
I got that.
This is the thing I was saying earlier.
That was how that game won, though. They still won that game.
Okay, then, but when Tua did that, y'all, instead of enjoying the win, y'all jump on his performance, even in a win.
But I'm not seeing Tua throw. I'm not seeing Tua throw for 500 yards.
He did throw for 500 yards this weekend.
Huh?
He threw for 3-something, and all those was yards after catch.
I've seen Burrow do it. I've seen Burrow hit.
Okay, but when he does it, but when he does it, y'all don't give him the same smoke.
So
when Tua does good, y'all not giving him the good smoke. Y'all only give him the bad smoke.
I give Tua good smoke all day, bro.
I'll give him the good smoke for winning the game against the Patriots. He needed 9 yards for the first down to win the game, and he got it.
The Ravens game, I gave him a good smoke.
Also, in the Chiefs game, he did everything in that fourth quarter to do what he could. I see these things. Our point is, bro, I mean, damn, dude. I mean, if he would have put up one 400-yard performance and multiple touchdowns, we wouldn't have questions.
Daniel Jones did it.
Questions, bro.
Daniel Jones
still
did
have
it.
questions. Yeah.
Daniel Jones did what?
He threw for 400 yards in one game, and that's Daniel Jones, and that guy is shit.
He's shit, bro. It's what
I bet you Daniel Jones.
I
bet you any kind of money Daniel Jones got better weapons than Tua had. I don't care what you say.
I don't like dogging the weaponry, bro. I mean,
can I ask you a fair question?
Yeah.
So let me just say, let's say that Tua was through this year for like 4,000 yards and 29 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Let's just say that's a pretty damn good performance, right?
Yeah,
we could agree, right? Let's say that happened, but we were only 1-15. First of all, I can tell you. First of all, I can
Green
tell
Rat
you,
goes Jets backup lit it up.
I'd be marching right with you on that, on Tua. First of all, but where would you be in that kind of situation? I'm just asking your opinion. Would you actually would you reverse in that situation and be blaming Tua for the 1-15 season, or would you be singing his praise, just like me saying, "Wow, 29 touchdowns," and you know what I mean? Yeah, because nobody would be in argument about building around that guy if that's kind
of the deal right there, man. If I seen him light it up with losses, but I seen him light it up, that's what I want. That's what we need in this NFL. It's skewed. It's harder to be a defender. I mean, we saw Jalen Ramsey get beat by Evans, and he locked Evans down all fucking game. But one play, he got over the top of him and put the whole game back in position to win for Tampa in that Rams game. I called the game live. My point is that's how it's skewed. Yes, go ahead, Kenneth.
So if he was doing all that and we was 1-12, I would put some of the blame still on him. Like, if you're not good enough to win games, you got to be responsible.
See, I would too, but I would be as adamant as Tuanon is. Like, I would be out there marching for the guy if he was doing that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Ennis, I wanna the reason you came on, I think where John was going with that is y'all can remember how bad Aaron Rodgers played whenever he was going through his family drama. And maybe his dad is very controlling. And he's trying to pull away from him. Plus, listen to Flores in one ear and his dad and his brother in the other ear. And it plays into his performance on the field. If anything, that's a defense to Tua, because if he is trying to pull away from his dad, maybe he can get better. Maybe he can be the Tua that everybody wants him to be.
I actually kind of think that's
the personal drama. I think it's the personal drama that plays into his everyday life on the field and in the locker room and the playing golf and everything like that. He's getting picked on for everything, bro. And I'm like you, dude. We talked earlier tonight. I'm tired of hearing all this crazy ass shit coming up because nobody has anything else to talk about. Let's find some new stuff to talk about. But right now, dude, I'm teetering in this, and you know it, bro. Like this is. And I'm not trying. And if we give Tua another chance, dude, I'm all for it. But it's got to be under a head coach that has the respect of the locker room from day one without having to earn it.
Hey guys, let's go ahead and bring in Jason Garrett as the next head coach. There you go.
But let me say this: what I told Mike earlier. If the rumors are true that they did not do a proper evaluation on Tua and just picked him just off the height and all that, then I'm really pissed off. Because as an organization, y'all didn't do y'all homework,
brother.
Properly
that is a fact.
To evaluate him and just took him off of what he was before the injury, and then you did a disservice to us and to him.
Yeah, but that also gives you people and people that see things the way you do, that gives you a fair out, because you can still admire the man for what he did. Like, for instance, I've said it from the beginning that let's say that they did know, and this was all about, hey, we're just going to use the fan base because, and I don't want to use the word charity case, but what I'm saying is, like, we're just going to use this fan base to make sure this guy gets the $1 million he deserves, because he did earn that in college. And unfortunately for him, he came out of college and went through college before this whole new rule change and phenomena of them being able to market themselves and make money. So if Ross came to me and said, Chris, as a fan, man, we got to do this for this guy, I'd be like, fine. You know what I mean? But then when it gets thrown back in our face, it's like we're not supposed to expect nothing.
I mean, Ross
I feel like Lonzo Ball all over again, bro.
Let me just say really quickly, how ironic is that we did our due diligence when it came to Drew Brees and passed on him, that we didn't do the same thing with Tua, and now we kept Tua because we were literally polar opposites with that, and that is just so Dolphins at the end.
Perpetual circle of insanity.
No, it's,
you know
like
what I mean, though.
Literally trip over the same fucking stick.
This guy's got great character, and there's absolutely a good reason why everybody is trying to pull for him so hard. You know what I mean? I totally get that, man. You know what I mean?
MC,
but if you got a fair out where it's like, hey, this guy wasn't evaluated properly, then you can say, well, now that's playing on my heartstrings, and I'm just going to walk away from that and wish him a good career. You know what I mean?
That would be another emotional decision made by the owner.
All right, guys,
Chris,
I'm out. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you, John.
Hey, good night, John. Hey, Chris. Okay, so for me, right?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lakers.
Okay, so for me, right, since y'all was talking about this Tua hype and, you know what I'm saying, I feel like this is like Lonzo Ball with the Lakers all over again. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what I've been saying.
Yeah, and
the Lonzo Ball is dad.
Yeah, I mean,
no matter where he goes, beyond Miami.
He needs the Lonzo Ball as dad. Maybe word it differently.
Lonzo Ball is actually balling right now.
Okay.
Big balling right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna ball him right now.
Yeah. The dad part, but I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, as in, like, you know what I'm saying, we took a chance with Tua, and since I'm a Laker fan, right?
Yeah.
And in that draft, we had Fultz and we had Fox in that draft, and we got Lonzo second. So I feel like the Lakers, and we took a chance on Lonzo and we traded him and shipped him away.
It's the most amazing PR team, and but listen, guys, I got to be honest. You know, I'm still gonna try to push that Carolina. Carolina too is a great quarterback. You know, he can win everywhere right there.
I've been trying to.
I've been trying to push that sale, dog. You know how I get.
Well, first of all, I wanted to also say I've got the utmost respect for Mr. Tagovailoa. I'm not trying to disparage his father at all. You know what I mean?
Yep. And
I'm
you know
just
what,
saying,
Carolina,
the
I
man
think
is gonna have
in
any
that market is going to do great.
If he's going to have any success in his career, it's going to be when he does what Lonzo did to his dad, and just, hey, I'm an adult, I'm a man, you're a man. I need to go do this thing myself and find it my own way. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with saying that. You know what I mean? On the Carolina thing, I wanted to add a little bit of news. I don't know if you happen to catch, Chris. Was that I went to the Detroit sports site, you know, their newspaper, to try to get any tidbits I could from what's going on with Harbaugh. And if there's any doubt now whether Harbaugh is willing to leave Michigan, there shouldn't be, because they're actually
Mike and I got really good word. Mike didn't want to give it all out. But listen, he's not staying. He doesn't want to stay and deal with the new politics. It's a done fucking deal.
Today they ran an article, or actually yesterday they ran an article suggesting who might be the next coach of University of Michigan. And to what you just brought up, they're talking about Matt Rule being one of the candidates. So Carolina ain't sold on him either.
Green Rat, you're freaking genius, bro. Because I didn't see that angle till just now. If he is indicted, has to go to prison for a year, comes back.
Not prison. No way.
Real quick,
I don't want a prisoner,
TD
bro.
actually made a similar point months ago when before the deadline. He was saying that Watson is so gifted and so elite that even if we got him on the roster and he went and served 5 years, he would still be an elite athlete when he got out. You know what I mean?
Watson come back up? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't want an ex-con on my team.
I get it, but that's along the same line.
Especially going years old. I mean, bro, you gotta look at it like this too, bro. I mean, it's the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other in so many metaphorical ways.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
Just
MC,
make a
go
phone
ahead.
call to
Hold
Jerry
on,
Jones, and he'll
hear
ease your mind on that.
I haven't heard from MC, and then I want to hear from Alex, and then Alexander, and then we need to hear from Ennis. Go ahead, MC.
All right, this question is for Mike. Mike, do you still think Aaron Rodgers is coming to Miami, or what do you think on that?
I think he's going to San Fran. I think he's going to San Fran, but I do think we're going to go after Adams, and I think we're going to go really hard after Adams.
So, but what about Ridley?
The San Fran narrative, right? Well, Ridley's coming. I don't know if you guys know this, but
here's my thing.
Ridley's coming.
Wait, how do you know, Chris?
If we don't get Adams and Ridley's right, then you get Ridley, because that's the type of receiver that Tua can win with. Because that's the guy that can take that intermediate route to the house. You got to get a guy that can take that intermediate route to the house. And right now you got the best route runner in NFL. You can argue with me, but you're not going to win. Devontae Adams is the best route runner in the NFL. His footwork off the line is absolutely amazing. You get him, he wins off the line. He's wide open. I mean, that's not a hard throw. Tom Brady threw to wide open guys. That's why he's the GOAT. But you got to get a guy like that. And then Ridley, if Ridley's available and he's right and he's ready to come back, I think you can take the intermediate route to the house.
Color saying no.
I was only because I didn't want to interrupt you, but I want to make it clear that I disagree about Devontae. Not that I disagree that he is a exceptional elite route runner, but I did want to say, and I'm not saying I'm picking a side. He could be the greatest, but you cannot say, hands down, John. There is one more person in the conversation, and that's Amari Cooper.
No, okay, hang on. 2 years ago, I would have told you Amari Cooper was the best in the game. But the last 2 years, Amari Cooper's taken a step back, and
maybe on the physical field, but up here, he is the best, one of the best route runners, like 1 and 2.
Caller, have you listened to him break down the routes?
Who, Amari?
Yeah. Oh my God, he is a genius. I'm not disagreeing, but right now, Devontae Adams is the best, and you can't prove me wrong. Right?
I won't argue. You know what I mean? But
Chris Lockus, man.
I know, bro. He's over here. He must have dropped a couple of hits of acid. His vacuum done told him that,
just wanted to also
Rodgers and Adams are coming.
Probably going to move him, so they're going to try to clear some books.
Hold on, Mike. What you said, Alex?
breaking news. Chris Alakis' vacuum just said Rodgers and Adams
I
are
know.
coming to Miami.
I know. It's great. It's good.
That's hilarious.
But listen, here's the thing. I wouldn't mind Adams come. I would love Adams to come down here, but let me ask you a question.
He is getting older though, too, guys. You know what I'm saying?
See, receivers can go till they're 35, 36.
Imagine nailing both of them.
look at Julio.
That would be dope.
Calvin really with Rodgers, and then you could trade Devontae Parker. You could trade or release Devontae Parker to save you some money. Maybe get another.
I don't think Devontae will take a
lineman.
trade. I bet you Devontae will take a hell of a lot less money to stay in Miami. He just has the temperament. I can't imagine dude. Look how long it took Devontae to settle in Miami. It took him like 5 years to even come out of his shell. So for him to go, I could not imagine him leaving, starting up a whole new deal. He would probably take less money and stay
Well,
here.
we had the Marks brothers. We could always have the Devontae brothers.
Hey, was it Calvin really? Was it Tua Tagovailoa Ridley's quarterback?
No, Ridley was way before Tua.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
I thought Ridley was there in Tua's freshman year, or
he was there. He was there.
Freshman year.
He was there.
That does not count.
Hey, but they play second team. He comes in, takes first team reps. He knows Ridley from practice, just like he knows Waddle, Devontae Smith. He knows the guy up in Denver. Like Tua knows all these great wide receivers.
He certainly does.
Maybe that's why he's so good.
Ridley's in play right now. From what I'm hearing,
when him and Jalen greeted on the field, you can almost see a little head tilt in Jalen, like as if he said to him something to the effect of, "Come on down, bruh."
Wait, it's more than a freshman year because Calvin really only been in the league 3 years.
3 years. That's what I was trying to say. This was his third year.
So they was together more than until his freshman year.
But Tua
Florida Born says he was hurt
his freshman year, so that's where I got confused.
But they still know each other.
I forgot that Jalen Hurts was Tua's like starter.
Yeah, who caught the big highlight bomb from Tua that they showed throughout the draft? Wasn't that Ridley?
That was Devontae Smith.
Oh, okay.
Anthony says also not just Devontae Adams, but Cooper Kupp, free agent next year. He ain't going nowhere.
Cooper Kupp is going
nowhere.
He's literally a franchise guy there.
They would literally not let that happen.
Let me say something.
He's a franchise.
Let me say something. Nobody's been mentioning. So New Orleans is 70 or whatever crazy number over the cap. You got receivers over there. They're going to be looking to move.
Michael Thomas.
Yeah, and then you got Seattle. Neil Driscoll said today that he's here in Seattle is looking to shop DK Metcalf. And I told y'all weeks ago that these teams that are strapped are going to have that are doing a rebuild. Like the Rams, if they win it, they're going to be in a massive rebuild because all of them contracts. They're not going to be able to bring that whole team back. So you got to look at the teams besides the free agent team. Players, the teams that's going to be doing rebuilds and fire sales. It's going to be a crazy come March when these teams can start making moves. It's going to be players.
Don't forget about all these potential quarterbacks on the market. There could even be Baker Mayfield floating around out there. It's going to be a
Baker Mayfield.
Guys, hold on. I got something.
But in Dallas,
I'm just talking about the market. That's how crazy it's going to get.
Hey,
but in Dallas, they're talking there's friction between Amari Cooper's people and Jerry Jones' people.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, y'all don't understand. Jerry Jones called Amari Cooper out, called him out and said we expect more.
I would love an Amari Cooper
not
over
to
here.
mention that they stand to gain a lot of cap space if they move him. They're actually
up,
trying
Alex?
to move him to
Hold
gain
on a second,
cap
Cal.
space.
What were you gonna say, Alex?
So all right, so here's the thing. It's about that with Amari Cooper. I would love Amari Cooper down here, but the only thing is that he has to shape up if he's going to come down here.
I ain't worried about him. I like a little diva and a little asshole and a wide receiver.
No, he's not that. He's a quiet guy, but he's hurt every year. He's always playing.
That's what I got a problem with. That's what I got a problem with.
And if he doesn't believe in Dak, and that's where his sourness comes from, is he going to believe in Tua?
I don't believe in Dak.
I don't think he will.
I don't believe in Tua.
I think Dak's a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah,
I think Dak's leadership skills are top 5.
But there may be a personal issue between him and Dak. Like he may not like Dak.
If we didn't have Tua, I would love Dak down here.
Oh, a million times over.
No way,
I love
bro.
Dak here.
I don't look at Dak and see that one thing.
I'm not saying he's worth
I
40.
haven't seen it from Tua, and I'm not saying that I see that over him. I would switch
Tua.
for sure, but Tua's still young enough. Maybe he tells his dad to go to hell, buys a Lamborghini, has a bunch of chicks hanging out, and becomes Mr. Cool Guy or something. I don't know. He's still young yet, but Dak,
Chris,
I think it's out on.
I don't want to say it yet, but
hold on, color. I want to hear. Hold on, color.
Sorry.
What, Alex?
My bad. I just wanted to go back to Tua for a second here, okay? And I hate this freaking logic here that everybody be saying after watching yesterday's Allen versus Mahomes last night, right? So last I checked, Tua went toe-to-toe with Mahomes last year and only lost by 6 points.
Yeah.
And threw for 340 yards.
I said that earlier, though, Alex.
Passes. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. I apologize because I was too busy. My wife.
I got you, Alex. What I said was, and I think I said it to you, Ennis, or maybe it was before Ennis got in here. I've seen Tua do good things to believe in.
One time.
But I've never seen him.
He went toe-to-toe with Mahomes.
I mean, bro, going toe-to-toe Mahomes, I don't know, man. Like I said, yes, in some aspects, you're not wrong. But the thing is this, bro. I got to see – I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell to say it, dude. It's that pass where you're like, oh, shit. What the hell? How do you do –
Alex.
like, where's my oh, shit with Tua?
Alex.
And I've wanted to see it.
Alex, if Tua got sacked 9 times, do you think there's any chance in hell we win that game?
Nope.
No.
Not only that, but you're talking about it.
But Mike, hold on.
Real quick.
The defense can. I'm sorry, Carl. I apologize. The defense did not stop. The defense shut out Mahomes in the first quarter in that game.
No, I'm talking about what happened Saturday. If Tua got sacked 9 times, do you think he wins a game? A game, any game?
I don't think so.
And that's what Burrow did, and that's what a number 5 overall pick's supposed to do, and that's our point. Like, it's nothing against Tua.
But
how many times he got sacked 9 times, bro?
And also for a random regular season matchup.
Let him answer, caller. Let him answer, caller.
Good.
Was it to a sack like 7 times in the Atlanta game and they only won?
Yeah, but what I'm
but
getting
they didn't win
because the defense couldn't make it stop.
In a playoff game against Tennessee, he gets sacked 9 times. He's never going to win that game.
Yeah, we got that. We got that, Mike. You made that point. My point is that even beyond sacked 9 times, we've seen that same quarterback in that game that got sacked 9 times and won it. Okay, whatever. But that same exact quarterback I've seen light it the fuck up on offense. Just dimes, dropping 200-yard wide receivers, 500 yards of passing offense, shit like that. Tua hasn't seen or given me anything to defend him against people that want to measure him to his contemporaries. And although Ennis, let me finish the thought. I will sit here and give credence to bad offensive line play, 30-second. And everything is an eye test in some ways. I get that. And not that Tua can't grow there. But this is the real problem. When people want to attack Tua and the people that want to defend him, the water doesn't hold weight to defend Tua from the attacks in a way. It's a losing argument for me because I can literally go watch and see where there's good stuff in 201 football games. I can see the numbers. I can see plays, but I don't see Joe Burrow. I don't see Justin Herbert talent-esque. I don't see the leadership in Justin Herbert, so I don't believe in him. I'm not saying trade the two. Personally, to me, I still, outside of that fourth quarter performance when he won the game before he didn't get in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? That it was good. But I still don't think when the light shines brightest, it's going to be more of the same in Oregon. He might falter until I see otherwise. But I do know that elite talent has more to build on. And I just see too many limitations. I see too many injuries. I see too many reasons that are fucking nerve-wracking that even when I looked at Tannehill for 9 years and Tennessee fans, Logical Guy was in here earlier, they're still looking at Tannehill thinking well, shit, we got Derrick Henry, we got all these weapons, got all this shit, and it's just still not enough. And you need a guy. I mean, even Tannehill's put up massive performances with his arm. And Tua, I know he is, but he has elite athleticism. There's something elite there. And being elite good at the quarterback position is only good when everything goes right. And if this guy who's getting injured where his ribs get fucked up to throw his mechanics right in week 6, and that's going to be there for 6 weeks, that shit ain't going to work, bro. So I can't have elite perfection because I've seen teams do it. But when we're talking hemmed up and limitations on physicality, along with all the things that need to go perfect, that you'll never win. You'll never win. So we're not going to, I get it. We'll never get a performance from Tua where he's going to put up 500 yards outside of on a team that it just works out. And you got to look at that too. It's a short slant, wiggle, shake, move, and Waddle goes 90 fucking yards. Okay. I got to see that Darnold throw, or excuse me, in the Rams game when Cooper Kupp's cut across the middle of the field and he heaved that bitch on money and he didn't break stride. Now, granted, I get it. It's Cooper Kupp, but they're not even calling those plays. And when I see him taking 25-yard shots that are off target or there's a limitation in some ways, but it's just too much fucking factors, bro. There's too many factors to balance out perfection. When I see too much limitations, I need a guy that's going to go fuck perfection. Yeah. I'm chipping this bitch all over the damn place. See, go back. Boom, and just chuck that bitch. Where the fuck is that? I haven't seen it yet. So I can't say that it's not going to happen in his future, but I haven't seen that shit yet. Why?
Can I say a couple
Just hold on, Color. Why?
The reason why is because Tua is more careful with the ball.
Careful, bro. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you, dog. I didn't mean to yell at you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, Alex. I didn't mean to yell at you.
No,
but,
bro, you good,
dude,
bro. It's just say he's more careful with the ball.
Careful. That goes right around again.
Want to make a mistake.
Bro, then that's what we're saying now. He's scared of his dad. Who's he scared of? You are the quarterback. We drafted you 5th. We believe in you so much that we have piled in belief. Go do. And I've seen him do good, but I need.
So you want him to be a Ryan Fitzpatrick and just throw it? Just throw it.
No, I don't get. No, it's not just throw it. I want him to go. I got this, bitch. You know what I'm saying? I want him to have enough fucking balls to wear a pink hat with fucking weed fucking things on it and a purple jacket and say, fuck the world, bro. I'm going to sling this rock all over your shit. Put some glasses on. Now, I don't need to see him be that way outside, and he could be everything he is. But on the football field, have some confidence, bro. Get some shit. Get it rocking, man. Make that happen. We saw him get a little swagger and get the big thing, and I was like, hell yeah, dude, get it. But dejected, pissed. I mean, it's just there's nothing I can hang the hat on outside of hope, bro. Outside of hope that if I do all these other things, that guy will reveal himself to me. But if he gets hit or I don't have a good O-line or I can blame weapons on drops and there's all those to blame, I wouldn't be pissed at Tua and have this worry about him if I saw that guy. I don't give a shit about the numbers. I don't give a shit about wins, nothing. I need to see the guy go, yeah, bitch, I'm the motherfucking quarterback of this fucking team. I'll whip your ass.
That's right. I'm 1-14. I'm about to be 2-14. That's right.
What up, bitches? Miami.
Hey, no, Cole. Let's not go there, Cole.
I've seen that.
No, but you get what I'm saying, though. You know what I mean?
On the side now.
Yes, please do, Dennis. Go ahead. Hold on. I want to hear it. I want to hear it, Color. Go ahead.
Okay. So that was real cute, Chris. I really appreciate that. That was real nice. But it's just funny how y'all don't like to say context don't matter. But did you know in that game that the longest pass that he threw was, I know we've seen the flashes from him in previous games. People always think I'm bashing him, but this is what I say is not fair. His longest pass in that game was 15 yards. Everything that they got was yak yards. So to Burrow in that game, like I said, we see flashes. I'm not saying that he hasn't flashed and shown you the stuff that you want to see, Chris. But
hold on, Mike. I'm gonna respond. Hold on, Color. Hold on, Mike. Continue, Ennis, and I'm responding.
But we're gonna act like Ryan Tannehill didn't hand them 3 turnovers. You see what I'm saying? Like context matter in the game that went on.
Ryan Tannehill didn't have what I'm talking about, brother.
But he gave Burrow and them 3 turnovers, so we're not gonna act like the defense didn't get 3 turnovers, bro. Like, let's be for real. Like, one of them was a pick 6.
You've kind of made my point for me by trying to disprove my point by using.
He was efficient, is what I'm saying. Tua can be efficient. We just need Tua to be efficient. Efficiency wins. If you look at the Chiefs and Bills game, they was efficient.
Who's efficient?
Burrow was. He was efficient on the short routes.
I don't give a shit about efficiency is my point. Ennis, hold on, Mike. Let me finish this.
You want to see rah, and we won it 12, like Color said.
No. I'm talking about what I want in my quarterback, bro. I'm not talking about numbers. I just said numbers be damned.
I want that in the team, though, Chris. You want that in one player?
I need that in a quarterback. The quarterback's the team. He's the guy that's here for 15 years if you get him right. That's the deal, bro. Running backs, wide receivers, linemen.
So Jimmy G's elite?
Coaches come and go. Huh?
So Jimmy G's elite?
I didn't say Jimmy G's elite, okay?
Somebody said you have to have the elite quarterback. Jimmy G's not elite.
I never said Jimmy G's elite. And I'm going to go back to your point about Burrow where he in the efficiency is that what I see from Burrow is the one thing I want to see from my quarterback that makes me believe wholeheartedly that this is the guy. Burrow didn't need to smoke stogies and sit up like he's fucking cool guy because you can just tell a real one knows a real one. They got that swagger in their everything and in their eyes, and it shows on the field. He's got that part, and I didn't see it on the field. I don't need to see it from Tua smoking a cigar. I don't have to see him in a Lamborghini. I could see him fucking marry the preacher's daughter and have a million kids and have a white picket fence and be that. I just want to see that guy on the fucking field. Even Phillip Rivers, who never said a swear word ever. And I get it, Phillip Rivers didn't win shit, but he certainly had the fucking one thing I would love in my quarterback that I need to see where he's like, hey, you gosh darn son of a, horse trucker, blah, 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 whatever the fuck he says. I can't even do it because I don't know how to not curse. That's why I curse on my show. It's just, I think that if I just seen Tua get dogged, grab somebody, point at him, fucking truck him. I mean, we've seen him truck, but it's just.
I seen him grab
Aaron Rodgers got.
I seen him do that.
I know, but bro, come on, man. It's just.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
So, Ennis, I got a question. Is there a quarterback like Tua that's winning in the last 8 years?
Last 8 years?
Go back 10 years. Other than Tom Brady, but he's the GOAT by all accounts. So
what are you doing?
Name one quarterback like Tua that plays the type of game that Tua plays in today's day and age that would win in the last 10 years. He would be great in the 90s and the early 2000s. The game's passed a quarterback like that by.
Breeze. That's why
Peyton Manning was back.
Breeze still threw for 50,000 yards, dude. You think Tua is ever going to get close to that?
But look what Breeze had.
25.
Sean Payton.
I know, but do you think Tua is going to ever throw for 50,000 yards?
I don't know. He hasn't had. Y'all keep acting like he came into this team and the team was ready to run, and he held them back.
Peyton Manning.
We all asking for all this stuff in free agency. Why? Because the ingredients in the kitchen is trash. This is what killed me. We put the same energy into the players that they don't want. Why? Because the other players around him that he's working with is trash.
No,
if there was guys on this offense making Pro Bowl, then I'll be on Tua's head. But until then,
It's not even about that. It's his style of game. I just think the style of game, especially in the AFC, that style of football is gone. The athletes are too big. They're too fast. People are going downfield now. You have to have a big arm. Not have to, but you have to have an arm that is consistent downfield when the shots do appear, okay? And you have to have somebody that can do it over and over again. The game has passed by a guy like Drew Brees. There's a reason he retired and never got back to the Super Bowl. It's just passed him by. It's time for a quarterback that can go down and throw for multiple 400-yard games in a row.
So Jimmy G is my perfect. So Jimmy G is better answer than Drew Brees.
No, Jimmy G's not going to win a Super Bowl either, bro.
But he's been there. But he's gotten them there.
Manning. I'll get to the Peyton Manning here in a second, Alex.
I just have to have
color
for a second.
Color. Go ahead, buddy. I'll get to Peyton Manning in a second, Alex.
I've got 4 points jotted down here. First of all, sorry about my camera being in reverse. The first example I showed was a play that causes yak. The second example I showed was a play that, while it might be a reception, does not cause yak. Okay. Bottom line is the reason that Burrow can rack up a bunch of yards, and some of that can be because of yak, is because Burrow puts the ball in a position that allows his receivers to continue up the field, split the defenders, and get the yak. Okay, so that is attributed somewhat to a quarterback's skill. I'll say that first of all. Second of all, to add context to the Kansas City game, okay, that was a random regular season game where a team like a Super Bowl champion comes into a team like Miami. How do we know how much that we were being throttled that day? First of all, okay, we have no clue what Patrick Mahomes really feels like he could have done to us that day. Okay. Secondly,
don't go there.
Last night, third point. Really? Last night, Kansas City game. When there was what was it? 13 seconds or 17 seconds?
What was 13 seconds, 3 timeouts.
Okay. When there was 13 seconds left on the clock, and Patrick Mahomes was behind center, there was not a fan in that stadium that didn't think that game wasn't going to overtime. Not one fan. Not one. It wasn't 50-50. It wasn't 64. There was not one.
You know what everybody knew?
It
was the kind of thing. It was kind of the thing that you used to see. Well, Brady did it for forever, still in some ways does. When Dan back in the day, if there was less than 2 minutes left, and you were like, shit, Dan's got too much fucking time, and we're all like, yes, you got a timeout in 1 minute and 20 seconds. We're gonna win this game. Dan's got it.
I know, bro, because I know.
Color, I'm with you, but color, I'm with you. But listen to what you said. His receivers.
Right.
Wait
a minute.
We only have one, so getting separation. Waddle's the only one that gets separation. So how is a guy going to throw for 5,000 yards with one receiver?
It's to my fourth point, okay? Wait a minute, real quick.
Go ahead, hurry it up.
Fourth point, okay? Gabriel Davis. Let me just run down the numbers real quick. 8 receptions.
Oh, come on. Kansas City secondary is trash.
Wait a minute here. 8 receptions, 201 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns. That is a wide receiver 2 on that team. And you're going to tell me Josh Allen had nothing to do with that?
I was talking about Burrow.
I'm putting it on the other side. I'm talking about the Buffalo game, KC game last night. Josh Allen ripped that ball down the field on 2 of those touchdowns to Gabriel Davis and split 3 defenders. Okay? I mean, you don't take a wide receiver 2 who nobody's ever heard of except for fantasy players who like to use him as a sleeper every now and then. You don't take a receiver like that. 8 receptions for 201 yards and 4 touchdowns.
One of them colored the dude did fall down. The dude did fall down on one.
It was an ankle breaker on one of them.
Hey, so it is. I think a game of a quarterback that needs to have. Okay, so I think anticipation football is starting to fade away because the athletes are too good. I think you have to have a guy that can literally gun it through multiple defenders, consistently. And right now,
I don't know if it's even consistently.
I don't think you have to.
Where the routes going to be open.
I mean, Mike,
you don't have
okay,
Mike,
that's fine. So where are we going to get this person from?
Yeah, Mike.
That's fine. Everybody says we need to replace Tua, but where are we getting this guy from?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Ennis on that, bro. Like, listen, those guys don't grow on fucking trees, bro. You know what I'm saying? And everything. What's up, Colin? How you doing, brother? I'm glad you hopped in here, man. Real quick, and I want to hear from Colin next, man. But it's just like I said. That's why I'm not talking about arms. I'm not talking about weapons. I'm not talking about wins or stats. I needed to see a young man become the man of my team.
Right. We got to deal with what we got.
The 2015 Peyton.
We got to deal with what we got. Where are we going to get this elite star from all of a sudden?
Ennis, that's just it, Ennis. There's elite guys in play right now, brother.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. If there was no one in play and we're talking about draft picks, we're not talking about draft picks. We're talking about other quarterbacks that we should be in the market making a run at.
So who's in play? Who's in play?
Aaron Rodgers could be in play. Wilson could be in play.
He's not in play.
Or even Deshaun Watson. I know not a lot of people want to hear that, but he's not out of play. He's not out of play.
I don't want to hear that name until it's clear. So to me, that's not
hear the name.
Then you don't want to hear the name of your own owner because he's done far shadier stuff than Deshaun Watson is being accused of. Okay, or allegedly done. And there ain't even any proof of that, but there is proof of the shady stuff our own owner has done. So, the crypto made this point to me. Okay, I didn't come up with this on my own. Crypto made this point to me. That for all these people talking about Deshaun Watson, who hasn't even been proven to have done anything wrong, anybody can say what they want.
Later,
okay,
Alex.
But
Thanks
you're talking about an owner. Those same
Later,
people
you guys have a
accept
great
an
night. God
owner.
bless.
Later, man. God bless, brother.
Yep. Take it easy, man. Thanks, Alexander. But we got to get rid of the self-righteousness on.
You want to know what the difference is?
Our owner's done far worse.
You want to know what the difference is? He's the owner of the team. Watson's not on the team. I have to deal with the owner. He owns the team. What are we gonna?
That's right.
What are you gonna do about that? He owns the team. There's nothing you can do about it.
Ennis, we're talking about the sake. We're talking about the sake of conversation's sake. It's not off the table. Nothing's written in stone. No one's guilty until proven, guilty in this country. And honestly, there could be other factors at play. Colin, what's up, brother, man? What you thinking over there, doggy?
What's up? I had to hop on because, I wasn't ever a Tua guy until I actually went to see him live play. Yeah. And it flipped the switch for me. Gosh, I went back to watching the college highlights. Anyone that says he hasn't done anything, I mean, it hasn't been too long since he's been in the NFL, so you can still look back at the college tape. It's there. He still can prove us wrong and go out there and ball out and become this top 5 that we want him to be.
I mean, Colin, I'm glad you have a good perspective, and I appreciate the sentiment because, like I said, man, if this team is going to make him our guy, then make it work. But I even also think, Colin, this is why I like Chris Greer. I don't think he's going to box himself in. But I did hear some news, and I'm going to kind of lay this out there, that there's talk of looking at Riley to come to this team. He doesn't want to stay there, and something could be very easy in the works. And, a conditional first-round pick. We have an extra first-rounder next year. But if they do something like that, that feels like boxing us into sticking with Tua. And that would, if they give up one of those first-round picks to get one of these top wide receivers next year, that's going to take out the back door to if Tua doesn't work. If Tua comes out next year and gets blasted again and is out 8 weeks, that's all I need to see, man. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen that a couple times now where he's lost time because of injuries. Started out losing time, lost time again. This is not the narrative you want to be built. In fact, it's the reason we let go of Tannehill, who hasn't really been injured like that since. And not that I want Tannehill back, obviously, but I just worry about longevity with all these limitations. And we're talking about building a perfect team. And
Hey, Chris, I say, question for you.
Go ahead, Color.
do you think it's because we got to breach the subject eventually about our backup, and this is what I was talking about earlier the day about like, we got to be careful. Are we just going to bring in somebody that like is not even going to compete? Because then how do we know we have a worthy backup? You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, and this is where the oddness comes in. Like, what if we try to do the whole bring T Hill back as to his backup just to be able to retire him as a Dolphin?
No, dude, no way.
I think Jimmy G's gonna be a backup somewhere.
Yeah, well, that's how we'll sell it. We're just bringing him in to retire him as a Dolphin. You know what I mean? And he can be to his backup.
And it's back to this. Jimmy G is on his way, and you've made this point about Jimmy G. Is he such a great quarterback? Jimmy G's a system quarterback, man. That's kind of like the ceiling of what Tua can be if he's not injured. And Jimmy G's been injured too. That's the kind of limitations. And yes, they've gone to a Super Bowl and shit, they might go and win one. But that shit's hard as hell to do. And I don't see some offensive genius with the pedigree like, okay, Harbaugh comes here and he says he wants Tua. Let's go. Yeah.
Absolutely agreed. And Ennis, that's what I've been trying to say the whole time, man. Like if a guy like Peterson, like Harbaugh, any of these, that's why I don't even want to talk about these underling guys, because it's just like so senseless. If they're not going to give us a real fair way, like I was talking about earlier about the not looking at him before they drafted him, and how that might be a fair out for you. Well, a fair back in for me would be a guy like Peterson or Harbaugh saying, yo, Tua's the guy. I can do this. Whether he can or not, whether he's blowing sunshine up my ass or not, I'm gonna buy a jersey, figuratively speaking, because I don't buy any jerseys. You know what I mean? I bought Charles Clay, and that's the only jersey I own. You know what I mean?
Color, I can go with you on that. I think I'm exactly, because me and you talked on the other day. We said the process. That's the process that I can get on board.
That's a fair process. I can't get behind one of the underlings because I don't see that as a fair process.
That's right. And go ahead, Ennis.
Hold on, last thing, Chris. This is where I'm like, if you can't get it right for the guy, you can't support and invest in the guy that you drafted 5th overall. Why am I think you're going to give these assets up and get an elite guy and build it for him and support him? You didn't do it for the guy you drafted.
That's what I was saying earlier. If that guy we drafted 5th overall was slinging 29, 30 touchdowns and we're 1-15, I'm fine with that. Let's build. That's earning the money being spent on him.
Yeah, and it's like I said, if it was all this and not if he didn't get injured, his numbers would look better. And it would be that way, but the injury is such an offsetting number. We got to literally fill in the gaps. Go, well, if this isn't injured next year, this is kind of what we can look at. And even if you bring in a guy like Peterson, if he gets injured, now you're shit out of luck. You're shit out of luck. And that's my major worry on him is, okay, maybe it's not a freak accident with the hip, but is it 2 weeks for a thumb? Is it 3 weeks later in the year from ribs? Is it, that, and I get it. Guys get nicked up.
He wanted to play when he injured the finger, Chris, so that's not fair.
I got that, man, and that's cool too. Mike, go ahead, and then I want to hear from Colin, and then I'm going to start shutting the show down, guys.
Cool, because I came in hot, and I guess I'm going to leave hot, because here's my problem, Ennis. What top 10 pick are we still having this conversation about going into year 3? What Justin Herbert? We all mentioned that he's sitting at the couch, but they're not having this conversation about Justin Herbert. They're not
usually
having
by year 3.
But here's my problem. If Tua's the guy, I don't know why we're still seeking. It's public knowledge. We're seeking a third opinion on Tua. Okay, why are we getting a third opinion on our number 5 overall pick? Why do we have to go get a third opinion? And so if that's the case, that's just I will support. I've said it, and as you know me, I'm going to support Tua if we get the right guy in here. But if I have to watch what could happen next year with the wrong hire, And if Tua proves me wrong, oh my God, I will eat crow like I did with Tom Brady. I'll eat it on screen. I will have a sandwich full of shit, and
I'm gonna send him. I'm gonna send him a live crow.
If he proves
So
me
you
wrong,
really
You better
taking
send the jerk, man. You better
so
send
you
the
said
jerk.
you
Steve.
said
Nope, a live
taking
crow,
another
bro.
You said taking another person's opinion. So you really holding Flores' opinion after all the stuff we hear about him?
No, but it's not about Flores, dude. If they're bringing, like Green Rat just said it, if they're bringing all these people in to see who's going to be able to win with Tua, and you haven't got your guy yet, and you have all this cap money, you don't think that coach that wants to be here has already been like, man, there's a lot of time going by where I could have been working behind the scenes on a plan with all this money, but nobody's taking this job.
But they saying it's not because of Tua, it's because of Greer. No GM, no coach gonna want a job, and the GM might get fired a year later because the new GM.
Bullshit. I don't think so, bro. That's a coach come in and go, hell yeah, I'm getting GM job next.
This is my last thing, and I gotta go.
But that ain't guaranteed.
This is on you. This is on that last topic. I'm piggybacking. We all talked about Stephen Ross. At this point, it's clear that he's made some of these decisions, and I believe he drafted Tua. Okay? So I said this when it first happened. This hire, if this coach does not work, Ross can be like, it was Greer's fault. He's out the door. This coach is out the door. Now it's time to bring a new regime in. And Chris, you want to tell me I'm wrong? I know you do. But I think this is Stephen Ross covering his ass. This next hire, if it doesn't work, it's all on Chris Greer.
Oh no doubt. Listen, Chris Greer's head's laying right here, right on the chopping block right now. It's buttered up, ready to go, blades sharpened, ready to chop his head off.
If it's an underling,
and then we'll get a whole. Doesn't matter. Underling coach suffered because the talent didn't work out. He didn't do his job. Look what he did. Second, it's easy to pin it. Then all the rumors come out, all the PR narrative starts pushing, and we find out Chris Greer was actually been around here for 21 years. You know what? He should have been fired back when they let go of Tannenbaum. He should have been fired and never got the job. He was promoted from within. He's never really been proven. He couldn't build a staff. He was good at making picks. He's just an overwhelming scout guy. That's how, I mean, listen, the narrative is always spun when this is what we're listening to. It's why I like to get other narratives from other places, just to see an outside perspective. That's why I like having logical guys stop by. A lot of us are all Dolphins fans, but I always enjoy when someone else comes into the fold to see what they see and they think about our circumstance. Because in a lot of ways, people find us respectable. The Dolphins, they don't overlook the Dolphins franchise. A lot of guys don't have a lot of faith in Tua, and a lot of this fan base doesn't either. And I'm not saying, Ennis and Colin, I'm not saying that. I always thought that Tua is the kind of guy that is either going to be out of the league in 6 years or in 6 or 7 years is finally getting it where he's looking like a Drew Brees-esque quarterback. But it's going to take that fucking long to make it happen, bro. It's going to take him learning, seeing defenses, building this big playbook, and then he's got to get through the gambit of injuries you get along the way. And already he started behind the 8 ball on the injuries and limitations. It's so much that I'm asking for so much more in perfection, where I got to look in envy at guys that can put up 500 yards almost by will. And it doesn't matter if you're sacking them, they're not getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to imagine a perfect situation happening, because when we did have perfection for Ryan, it was only when that offensive line stayed healthy, and that was few and far between. It was only for 10 games that one fucking year, and Ryan took such a beating that he didn't even get to see it through. It's so hard to make happen, bro. And even now, they've got in Tennessee, and I only use that as an example because they just, the way they lost, I had higher hopes for Tennessee, but really, it came down to Derrick Henry, and that run game just never got it the way it could, and that's where their limitations came. And in this new NFL, your quarterback at least has to be able to bail you out with his arm when the time arises, especially when it comes to winning championships and it comes to winning in the playoffs, or it comes to just willing you there. And I've seen Tua scramble, make it, and get the play, but I just haven't seen that that performance where he did that twice in a game and brought us. I don't know, man. I'm not saying it can't happen. I get it. It's always too little, too late. But that alongside with the injuries is too much. Before I let you guys all get your last thoughts, I want to ask everybody to make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are watching and stuff like that. Tomorrow, it'll be TMI Tuesdays, Talk 7, game show. Come by. We're going to be fleshing it out. We'll be giving shit away. It'll be fun. And then after that, we have open mic with Mike on the mic right after the show. And then Mike also is on Saturdays with Drop the Mic and stuff like that. Make sure also to come back for Cash and Tickets on Thursdays with Brandon the Bookie, Big Kev, and Oz. If you guys are doing some sports betting, my guys are good. I actually should listen to them more. It would help me out a hell of a lot if I did more of what they said and not more of what I felt. It's kind of bad. And me, guys, I'm here every Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You can also find me Wednesdays on Miami Sports Music Network, Podcast Network. I do the Finn's Tailgate show over there. And then also on Fridays, we do a betting show over there covering the spread, doing some betting. I'll bring on Brandon the Bookie sometimes. I'll bring on Big Kev. Sometimes I'll bring on Oz. Mike was there with me for the first one. And, Color will make his appearance. And when he does, we'll bring a little color commentary in there. Booyah. What about that, guys? A little color commentary for you. A little bit of graphics there, Color. And, but guys, let's close this show up. Let's have some final thoughts. Let's and I've kind of made this scenario before. And now that we have kind of a little bit of leveling off, we're trying to be perspective here. The team we'll create this scenario that the team is married to Tua, and it's not going to be Harbaugh as the coach. And it can't be. Let's take out Harbaugh, and let's take out. I don't want to say Peterson, but I guess let's take out Peterson too, and let's roll through it. But it has to be. Fuck, man. There's no way to do it and take out Peterson. Keep Peterson in there. Where are we going, guys?
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn.
Yeah, I still got a prediction of Dan Quinn myself. He's like right in the middle of all of them, as far as the higher ups,
Mm-hmm.
I did lock in my max $25 bet for Jim Harbaugh the other day at plus 1,500. So if that hasn't changed at all,
did you get that on BetUS?
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to go make that bet too.
Just to make it, because God, it really that what you're betting on there is pretty much that this was all orchestrated from the beginning, and it was the first choice from the beginning, and that's what the plus 1,500 is really odds for if you think about it on those terms. But I will say that they haven't updated today, so I'm still going on. I don't know how old the numbers are, but I mean, you still got Hackett at plus 700. You still had
everybody's. There hasn't been one coach hired yet. Well, but I expect the waterfall to come after this weekend.
Yeah,
the waterfall next week is just.
Yeah, and BetUS hasn't updated in like 2 days, but it was still Bieniemy is the favorite at plus 400. So.
Yeah, but I saw the updated odds. It's Vance Joseph at plus 350.
Plus 350. Yeah, but see, Dable was at plus 200 at one point, and now he's fallen back. So I don't necessarily get too alarmed about plus 350 if they're talking. Hey. Most of the guys.
All right, hold on, Color. What's up, Ennis? I want to hear what you got, Ennis.
I gotta go. I don't believe in it because last year they had Flores at the bottom of the list, and he wound up being the head coach. So
that's right. But who would you pick, Ennis?
That's what I'm about to say. Let me tell you where I'm leaning, because I heard Dabo's staff so far is Ken Dorsey and Wink from Baltimore that was just released. If that's his staff, I want Dabo. All hands down, because Winkendale deals with the same type defense as far as scheme wise in Baltimore. That would be a perfect fit for our defense. And Ken Dorsey, I already been saying that I wanted Dorsey as our OC.
I would love to have Dorsey over here. I think Dorsey does good, but
if they don't announce
and
it,
that's hold on a second,
week,
Ennis. So the word is that it would be Dayball, Dorsey, and who else?
Wink Martindale.
Okay, Wink Martindale. Okay, all right. Okay.
So if they don't announce it this week because the Giants do the second interview, and if he does take the Giants or he doesn't, that means they waiting to see what Daniels gonna do. It depends on Dabo take that Giants job because of the GM there. He already has this GM, and you know what I'm saying. But people saying that he says he wants to come back down to Miami. I don't know if that was probably before the Giants job. You see what I'm saying? So everything
I got
plays
you,
a key
Ennis.
into everything else. So
I got you.
I want the new guys. I don't want to retrade. Y'all can have the retrades. I understand.
I mean,
why.
listen, that I understand that, Ennis. That's why I give everybody their second.
I'm just not too high on the retrade. There's a reason
I
why
get you, dog. Listen, and listen, when you find the next guy, if it's the next guy, you know, you're like, fuck yeah, we got the next guy. You know what I'm saying? I hope that's the case. If it's Dayball, I hope Dayball does come with Dorsey, because that would be fucking awesome. But I don't know. I have reason to believe that that's not gonna happen, bro. But thanks for coming in, Ennis.
Yeah, appreciate you,
brother.
Ennis. Always appreciate you, man.
Hi, bro.
Take it easy, Ennis. I'll talk to you later, man. Hey, Ennis, real quick. Fuck. Ennis, in the comments, man. How was it chatting it up with my boys over at Go Time, man? Shout out Charlie and Kadeem on there. That was pretty cool.
By the way, Don Shula was a retread.
Yes, he was,
and he didn't even have success his first time.
And listen,
around,
when they didn't believe in him when they traded him, they were like, he's never gonna win the big one, bro. Colin, what about you, buddy? What kind of what are you thinking?
Well, first off, if you're not watching the Fins tailgate, then I don't know what you're watching. You know what I
mean? Nice, brother. Nice.
Nah, but man,
damn, that's a cool dome right there. That's awesome.
Nah, but what I wanted to say is respects to you, man. Whenever I come up here, I get all nervous and stuff.
No, Colin, it's good, brother. Get in. This is what it's about. It's supposed to shake the nerves out, doggy. That's all good.
And you don't get no more shy than me, bro. So
listen,
you know.
I drew color out the dark. I'll draw you. I mean, it's good. It's good to let
and you
that
definitely
guy show.
you're only half as ugly as me, so you know.
I got you too, real quick, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, I hope Tua can ball out. I love the show, bro. I'm always trying to get on whenever I see it live, and fins up.
Thanks, brother Colin.
Thanks,
man.
Colin.
Take it easy, brother, man. Take it. All right. I'm gonna let you go, color. Let me.
Hey, I just wanted to also say that Dable, out of all the guys on the bottom tier, I mean, or the new tier, I should say,
I don't want
Sperano did give him really high regard with props, and that like I've always said, that holds water with me. If he's bringing over a guy like Wink Martindale to make sure our defense is solid, then it's like almost let the kid run with the offense, see what he can do if the players warm up to him. You know what I mean? But
Dayball to me, and I'll go to mine now because that's kind of where I'm at with this. Dayball to me is okay if it's Jim Caldwell that comes in ahead of him, and that Dayball becomes the assistant. It's kind of like my scenario I made with Mike McDaniel, and also I see the good selling out for Tua. That gives us an answer one way or the other. If he's injured and Dayball, and he says he believes, and listen, it gives me an answer on Dayball too. You know what I'm saying? If Dayball goes putting his neck out for him and then he gets injured, that's a strike on you, bro. That's a reason why you didn't become a head coach. Now, if he comes in here to be the head coach just for Tua, then it better fucking work out. It better work out because now, like I said, bro, these pitchforks are sharp as shit. I am so pissed if we go balls deep, for lack of a better term, on Tua with a Dayball hire, which makes all the sense in the world. It's got to work, guys. It's got to work, man. It's got to. There can't be there's too much questions and too much analytics and measuring for the future that I'm insert hope here on the Tua narrative. It's
you made a great point about the assistant head coach and about like all these interviews. We might not be looking to fill coordinator positions. They may literally be interviewing as to who they want because they know that a retread is only going to be good for a couple years just to bring back, just to heal the whole organization. Right. And then you got this guy actually as an assistant head coach, somebody like Dable or McDaniels. That's,
it's kind of why Caldwell to me is literally
Caldwell. Yep.
Is the perfect thing. Because to me, Peterson, I don't think he's going to stay for 3 years. If he'll sign a 3-year deal, but he ain't stepping down in 3 years. Caldwell, and I know he's a competitor and everything like that. I think Caldwell, he never got the big one. I think he believes if he can. I think if he could build the perfect staff, and he's been biting and chomping at the bit. But I think it also leaves a professional bowing out because he could age himself out of the game. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And getting someone young behind him, and that's kind of why I liked McDaniel, because I could see you can almost get that lightning in a bottle everyone wants to get with that first-time head coach hire, but not take that risk with a guy like Caldwell in there to steer the ship, man. That's kind of what it is. And I don't disagree. You can have your cake and eat it too. It's why I want Nathaniel Hackett. You know what I'm saying? Because then I get to have Aaron Rodgers sign into a 3-year deal and then deal with Tua in 3 years. If it doesn't work out, if my biggest problem is in 3 years, damn, do I keep Aaron Rodgers and extend him and trade Tua, or do I say goodbye, Aaron Rodgers, and keep Tua? You know what I'm saying? Like that's a scenario I would dream for. I gotta recreate what I believe and perceive to be staying flexible, because I'm trying to put myself in the mind of Chris Greer, someone who's been able to, all right, Mike, I'll see you later, brother. Your mic is muted, Mike. Mike on the mic.
I was saluting to eat him. I was saluting.
Oh, I thought you were. Oh, I thought you. It literally.
What's up, EM?
I know what's happening, EM. Salute, brother. It literally says to me that if I'm putting myself in the shoes of Chris Greer, he's been able to find himself on the right side of the wrong, fires, regime change. He's stayed flexible to this point. I like the Calvin Ridley narrative, but if he uses that first round pick from a year from now with a conditional to go all in on Tua, and it, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't see him doing these kinds of things. He's stayed flexible with his job and his responsibilities and how he's going to end up. So,
well, I'm also starting to start to tend to think now on a point you've been making about, keeping Tua and bringing in an elite quarterback, because if that's the route we're trying, if that's the angle Greer's going for.
Well, there's several angles I'm laying out here.
Well, what I mean is if that's the angle he chooses to attempt to go for, then that leaves only one choice, because especially with the back rumors about, DK being on the market, because that would have to be Russell Wilson.
I mean, listen,
who else can teach Tua how to be a short Doug Flutie type in this league but Russell Wilson?
No. Take that word out of your mouth. Russell Wilson throws the best sky ball ever as a baseball player that learned how to throw a football.
Well, I know, but I'm saying he's talking literally Tua how to use his type of body the way he has.
It's literally a good way.
First of all,
Doug Flutie did some crazy shit in his day. I fucking son of a bitch.
I agree with you there. I thought you were talking about his ability to throw the ball, because Russell Wilson.
If that's the angle Greer's going, the choice has to be Russell Wilson.
All right, Mike. I'll see you later, brother. Make sure to come, guys, tomorrow to see Mike on the mic. He'll be on tomorrow right after TMI Tuesdays and stuff like that. I'll see you, brother. Color, thanks for coming and helping out, man. I really appreciate it, my man. I'll see you later, brother. So, guys, that concludes. Thank you for coming by. Please make sure to check out all the shows. We got TMI Tuesdays at 9, open mic at 10 on Tuesday, and then cash and tickets on Thursdays. Drop the mic on Saturdays. The Fins Tailgate every other day. You can find me on Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays here at the Fins Tailgate. Wednesdays, you can find me over at Miami Sports Music Podcast Network, and you can also find me there on Fridays doing Covering the Spread. Sorry, guys, I'm fucking burnt the hell out, man. I'm tired of shit, man. So I'll see you guys later, man.